Live. Hello and welcome to Adventure on so many levels. We're gonna play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Woohoo!
I am Christiana Ellis. I'm the Dungeon Master, and tonight our players: Mark Kilfoyle as Alaric, the Dwarf Fighter;
Good evening.
Starla Hodgson as Nira, the Elf Cleric.
Greetings and citations.
Joining us shortly, hopefully, we will have Chooch Schubert as Ottercree, the Tiefling Paladin. And he can't say hello yet because he's not here. And in a moment, I will have a text for our guest player, Nutty, who is playing Granis, the Stone Giant.
You are all not real, but that's okay. I'll still work with you.
Let's see.
Live with your dreams. Focus on your future dreams.
And then let's make that a manageable size. There we go. Although the extra big text was maybe appropriate.
Yes. Big text for big.
Yay. I want to begin first by reminding everyone that there is now a page at ChristianaEllis.com and linked to in my current pinned tweet that is a story so far for the campaign to date. It covers episodes 1 through 52, which was a lot of material. So if you guys are just joining us or jumping in and you want to kind of just read up a summary of the stuff that's happened, or if it's just to refresh your memory, you waltz down memory lane or something, you can check that out. I think I will eventually do like an audio version and put that in the podcast feed as well. I haven't gotten around to that. The benefit of the website version is that as every few episodes I'll update it. And that's easily done. I just add a paragraph or two at the end. But in the meantime, first let me point out that tonight the music and ambiance, this nice creepy piano music, is coming from Syrinscape, fantasy player. Syrinscape spelled S-Y-R-I-N scape. And it's got some good, game ambiance to play, and so that's what is where it is. Oh, Smarter Master in chat says, I read the story so far and it was good. Yay, this is thumbs up, but make sure it's in frame.
I also read it for nostalgic purposes, and I agree, it was very good.
Well, good. I'm glad. It was a lot of material to cover, so how much detail to go into in various bits, and who to leave out, But anyway, I'm glad everyone enjoyed it, and if you haven't read it yet, you should go enjoy it too, but maybe after this, because we're live right now. So, so let's talk about what happened last week. First, let's also, I guess we mentioned that obviously we are once again lacking Viv tonight. We should have Chooch joining us in a bit, so that will correct itself as we go. But last week, the heroes of legend continued their exploration of Stone Giant territory. They discovered a way to kind of make a partial fix of the beacon that used to light this entire Stone Giant cavern, this whole Stone Giant city. I'm going to turn this music down just a little bit. Definitely in the chat, let me know if the music gets too loud or anything, because I'm using a new setup. So, anyway. Heroes of Legend, accompanied by their young dragonborn companion, Doke, who's along as a translator, even though there haven't been a lot of stone giants to talk to yet. You partially fixed this beacon, but it was clear that something has gone very wrong. Most of the stone giants are missing. There's all sorts of destruction present. And then the only stone giant you had seen so far looked very unusual and ran away from you, calling you bad dreams. But as you decided to pursue some of the various leads that you had in here, you encountered some Grix, which are just generic monsters, but then those Grix were eaten by something enveloped in a sphere of magical darkness that seemed a lot bigger than most of the stuff you had fought so far, and you were saved from its suggestion that eating you would help you think of good games to play. You were saved by your new friend Granis the Stone Giant, who helped you to run away from this monster and hide out in a little metal room that's about 25 foot cubed and completely sealed and only accessible by a magic pass wand that creates an opening in the wall. And once in there, she told you a little bit about what had happened here, that a stone giant dreamwalker had returned from out in the larger world and convinced all of the other stone giants that the outside world was just a dream and that it was going to end. And if the stone giants didn't want to end along with it, they had to wake up from the dream. And by that apparently entailed sealing themselves inside a giant vault and turning to stone, because as far as Granis could tell, that's what they did.
Yep.
So in the meantime, she has been all by herself in this city, and without the stone giants there, all sorts of unpleasant things are making their way to the surface. For example, a giant monster enveloped in magical darkness. So, you decided to try to get a rest in this little metal box, hoping to come up with a plan. So it's time to attack the darkness on so many levels! One additional note, just for you guys, is that I did some math relating to the size of the little room you're in and how many of you are in there. And I've worked out how much air there's likely to be. And I'm not going to tell you because you guys need to try to figure out how you're going to solve that particular problem.
Well, Nira was supposed to like
Rest.
and yeah, well, I know, but yeah, she meditates for 4 hours and then like she'll be kind of alert and awake. So hopefully it's longer than 4 hours.
So we're going to pick up just before you would have started this long rest period. You have been in the box currently for about an hour, having this initial discussion, and so you can be ready to start this rest essentially now. As you are preparing to begin, with Nira going to rest first on the odds that, so that she'll be more alert later to try to monitor the air. You guys are already feeling just a little bit of a subtle headache. Just a little bit.
Oh, that's not good.
Nope, not good.
Now, what you do know is that Granis, who is much bigger than you guys, and just to give everybody an indication, let's go ahead and switch to our map. So, as far as the size is, this room is about 25 foot cubed, and this is your relative sizes here. So, Granis has stayed in this room many times, and has even stayed overnight in it, and has generally felt like she doesn't want to stay in there that much longer than that, because it starts feeling uncomfortable at about that time.
Right.
But
Is this,
you haven't gotten to the point where you felt like really dizzy or really gasping for breath, but more just like, I need some fresh air, so I'm going to leave.
What's on top of this building? Is it wedged into the rock in all directions, except for one?
It is basically, there's the one wall that opens to the corridor, and that's designed to be the wall that you would pass through with the wand.
But on top of the room, it's wedged right down to up to the rock.
Yes, and in fact, the ceiling is metal as well.
Yeah.
All 6 sides of this cube.
And if it's wedged up to the rock, then I could probably get through that too. I was thinking just staying on the roof, but it's not exposed.
Yeah.
It can move.
How long does the portal stay open for?
An hour. You can close it sooner than that if you want, but it will only stay open for an hour.
And
So,
then-
I'm assuming this headache, I'm used to getting this.
Yeah.
And
This is
how long does it take?
this is only a little bit sooner than you would normally expect to be feeling it. But it's hard to know because like you're also like locked in a box where you're used to getting fresh air. It's hard to know. It's like, well, how much is paranoia? How much is it just unpleasant to be in here?
Well, I got a headache from that past poison, so.
Well,
I don't know anything.
you do know though that you have been in here considerably longer after starting to get the little headache and still not gasping for breath yet.
We still have time. This happens. This is okay. It's just we're using more air than I normally use.
My people are miners, and one of the things we worry about is getting air to places. This is a different problem than anything I've heard of, and I'm not actually a miner myself. But this door, the portal, it stays open. Is there a way to wedge it open partially, or put a tube or something through it to bring in fresh air? You ever tried?
I haven't tried.
What does it look like when the portal appears?
So you would have seen it when you came in and then when she allowed it to close. And essentially, there's no seam or door or anything that you can see now that it's closed. And basically, an opening just grows out of the metal and then sealed itself right back up again.
If I have any opening, the darkness is gonna come in. The only way to keep them out is to close the portal behind me.
Well, it keeps us in too, which isn't very good.
It's okay. You get used to it.
No.
Sleep.
Only once, maybe.
You should sleep.
Yeah.
You breathe less when you sleep.
I'll try.
All right. Are you resting too, Granis?
Just to use less oxygen, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Granis doesn't need to rest, but she'd rather use less oxygen.
Mm-hmm. Just as far as like time of day is concerned, it would be sort of early evening for those of you who came from outside.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. Like, she wouldn't normally rest right now, but she figures she doesn't know what's going to happen. And again, use less oxygen.
I
Yeah.
assume we've extinguished the lamps.
Well, the light you were getting was Doak had cast light on his dagger.
Yeah,
Right.
so it
That
didn't
was
use.
yeah, so it doesn't use any oxygen.
This is nice. Normally, I just sleep. I'm in the dark.
Yeah, sometimes that's good. But I'm going to rest because I need the longest.
All right. So I think Archie is everyone's on board, but Nira is definitely going to do her meditation first, so that she can be more alert to monitor for if everybody seems like they start to have trouble breathing, and and I thought about pretending as a joke to just say, and so you all drift off to a nice streamless sleep and never wake up. So what new characters do you want to roll? You're now forever
Worst way to
entombed
go, I
within the sealed. She's suffocated. No, you're. That's not happening.
But we have
Everyone
Eric.
is. Yeah. So what happens? What does happen though is you kind of all drift off to sleep, but then a few hours in, you all hear a voice through the wall. It just says, "Hello in there. Don't think I'm not wise to your little hiding places. The giant showed you in there, I'm sure. You left me an awfully nice present. It's pretty interesting. I've placed it in a fun location."
Crap. He's got the movable rod.
Why do you
Sorry,
leave
I'm
it?
meditating.
You should come out and find it. Nobody says anything?
I'm asleep.
Well, I'm thinking this is loud enough that it would rouse you enough to hear that it's happening.
I probably say a few choice words that probably shouldn't be repeated by most people.
I will roll my eyes and go back to meditating.
I
That's what I do.
think we should. I think we should get what you need from your sleep or your rest or whatever she's doing over there, and then we go out. But what this thing? How does one control it? If it's immovable, how could he move it?
There's a button.
No. So it's sometimes immovable. Okay.
So after a little while of you guys not really responding to him, you hear just kind of receding chuckles. And then another hour or so goes by, and then wham, wham, wham! The whole cell vibrates as something clearly is slamming itself really hard against the wall, and then it just says, "Come out of there! It does none of us any good for you to suffocate in there. It's lose-lose. Come out! Come out! Bam, 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 bam!" And you can feel the whole cell shaking with the impact of these. But then, do any of you say anything?
I
So,
assume the others are awake though.
well, so what I'm saying is that, like, this is only, like, maybe 3 hours or so into you
Yeah.
guys trying to have your long rest. And I'm not saying it's going to interfere with you guys getting a long rest, but you wake up and hear it happening, for sure.
Hopefully he gets bored.
Something tells me he's already been bored. That's
He's
the problem.
always bored.
So you don't hear anything again for a while. So after your 4 hours of meditation, Nira, which I would imagine are a little bit less restful than you would usually want. Like, I'm not saying you're not mechanically, you've done what you need to do, but this is not a calming environment. But so you are now awake and kind of alert again. Everyone else in the room seems to be asleep. And just kind of gauging the air for yourself. It's definitely stuffy. It does not smell good.
I imagine not.
I don't know that you, I guess it's up to you to decide whether you blame her for it or not, but Grannis does not smell good.
Fox don't.
Meh. I can't really fault her.
So I'd say make a perception check.
Totally forgot to get my dice out. My bad. Okay. I have rolled a 15, and perception is a +7, so 22.
All right. So, calming yourself and paying attention to how it feels as you inhale, how you feel generally. You do sense that you're breathing a little bit faster than normal. You're feeling a little bit clammy, and you're not sure if it's just humidity in there or if there's some other thing about it. It's a little bit hard to concentrate. But everyone seems to be resting peacefully for the moment.
Okay. I'm going to continue waiting and just...
Are you doing anything to occupy yourself? You're sitting in the dark?
I will... I don't know, I've kind of have I haven't done my like nightly meditation with Rushama, the whole thing. This is what I learned today. I haven't done that, so I would probably be going over everything we've done the past couple of days and thinking over what Granis had said about the spirit that the stone giants, follow. Because to me, it's odd that the spirit wouldn't intervene in some way. Because if the stone giants are doing nothing, then it's not being worshipped and being fed as it should be. And seems like it wouldn't be happy about that. So I will direct those kind of thoughts, in my meditations as I'm, thinking about, Rushama and telling him what I've learned.
It comes to you in a kind of an abstract way, but you vaguely are brought to mind memories of learning that spirits are shaped by their surroundings and by the mortal creatures that worship them.
Okay. So maybe this does make the spirit happy, because she said the spirit wants them to just be at peace and not do things, and I don't I'm trying to remember exactly what it was.
Yeah. I'm not saying it like it makes sense necessarily,
Mm-hmm.
but you find yourself reminded of learning that the nature of a spirit is not fixed or pre-existing. It is evolves along with its environment.
Okay.
So if you're just kind of spending your time just kind of waiting peacefully, watching your friends, I would say by the time that they are about finished with their 8 hours, we're maybe like 7 hours in at this point. There's one more wham on the wall, and just the voice says, "I'm going elsewhere to hunt. You can take my word for it or not, as you like."
Not gonna encourage him by saying anything.
Not gonna waste the air.
So, and at about this point, excuse me, that voice kind of does a number on me. Or maybe it's the lack of oxygen in here. You are definitely, at this point, make another perception check.
23.
The headache is worse. It's been growing and not going away. It's kind of growing. It's not intense. Certainly unpleasant. You find your thoughts kind of drifting, and it's a little difficult to really follow any sort of normal chain of thought. You kind of keep getting distracted from your own thoughts. It's a little hard to concentrate. You're breathing a little faster, but you don't really feel like you're choking or anything.
I assume on that last pounding, Granis woke up. She feels the same that she normally does after a rest, maybe? Maybe a little more severe.
She has been in here long enough previously to feel worse than she does now.
Okay.
But this is a bit worse than she would normally feel just from sleeping.
Right.
But, so if everybody else goes ahead and finishes their long rest, you are now having this, you all kind of wake up feeling, again, mechanically speaking, you have had a long rest. So, don't worry about spell slots and everything. But just generally speaking, in terms of the feel of it, you want out of this box. It's very claustrophobic at this point. Yep. The air feels very stale. You kind of like sweaty, clammy. You're breathing a little fast. It's a little bit. You feel a little bit winded, even though you just woke up.
Next time, Autarky, near Kina, we should find ourselves some water.
Agreed. I actually did think about that, and I do have the create or destroy water option. That's like a 30-foot cube, but that doesn't help Grannis.
We don't have to take her water or her air, or Rokara's either.
Oh yeah, I am too. Yeah. No.
We're gonna have to go and move swiftly.
Yeah.
So, Grannis,
Ready for him out there just in case.
yeah, has he ever said anything like that to you before, that he said he was leaving?
He's said all sorts of things.
He says everything. He says whatever he thinks is going to rile me up. He's always playing with my head.
It might be good to start by getting to higher ground. Someplace of a second or third floor, maybe. See how hard it is for him to crawl through that. Then we can regroup when our heads are clearer. Maybe?
I think what we want to do is we should get out of the area of the caves. He doesn't normally follow me out into the woods.
That's a long ways away.
It lets
We're
you-
still gonna hunt for that stupid rod, too, if we need to use it.
Yeah,
Everybody-
I'm sure we'll find it as soon as we leave. Or at least on the way. He put it somewhere that we're definitely going to run into. He's not stupid.
He may have left clues, but it didn't sound like it was just going to be lying on the ground.
No, it'll be lying somewhere that'll probably be very inconvenient or painful.
Well, he wants sport, so...
All right, should we go? We don't really have much of a choice. I think we're starting to run out of air.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should go.
All right. So
So, is there anything you want to do before I open the wall? This would be your time.
Yeah, I don't have anything that's gonna like immediately. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll summon the dagger, that's about it.
I'll have my shield up just in case.
Yeah, I'm doing. Archie's gonna be all at the ready. We're all gonna be at the ready. So I cast with my wand and open.
okay. All right. So hang on. Let me just getting stuff ready. Okay. So yes, as you use the wand, expend a charge from it. As you are very familiar with Grannis, but the rest of you are able to observe more closely this time. There's, just a small opening at first that just grows over the course of a few seconds until there is a 15-foot by 15-foot opening in this wall, big enough for all of you to pass through. And what you actually see is out into this hallway. You're able to see it. So would you have had the light up?
I don't think anyone mentioned it going out.
Well, Doak could do it easily. It's a cantrip.
Yes. Yes. But
So I think it would be your choice, you guys, if you think you would want it on or not.
It's not like he doesn't know we're coming.
I would say no. Can Doak see in the dark?
No.
No. I would say no, and just because we don't know what's out there.
Okay.
And
can I see in the dark?
I don't think so.
Yes, dark vision.
Oh, do you? Okay, well then good.
60 feet of dark vision.
Well, yes. So yeah, that means pretty much I think everyone except Doak, I guess.
Doak, hold on to me.
Right.
You-
Now-
it's good to have my translator nearby.
So you guys, did I not include that? Hang on. You guys open the hallway, and it was dimly lit when you came in, because you had left the the light cantrip on the beacon when you were dealing with all of that. But it has since gone out. And do I have that other token or not? Okay, I put all these things in the wrong places. Okay. Never mind. Nothing happens. You don't see anything.
Well, it's dark.
So the why does this happen? I swear, like I sit here as I'm getting ready for the show to start, and I say, okay, well, which tokens do I need? Let's sort them all out over here and say, okay, these are the ones that I'm going to use for tonight, and I'll put the others away so I don't get them confused. And then invariably, I start looking and say, oh, wait, why don't I have this one? Where is it? I don't know. Now I can't find it. And then it's the whole thing.
Then someone summons an owl or an octopus or something, and suddenly, oh, well, it doesn't matter anyway.
Okay, let's see. So it's not there. And check one more place, and there it is. So
Apparently, the chat thinks you need a squirrel token.
So, what those of you who can see in the dark can see, and Granis knows well, is that there are inlaid sort of gemstones in the floor here, and in particular, there's two paths. One that's kind of meandering, and one that is more, more direct. But what you all see is that there's some sort of a creature with 3 legs and 3 big arms and an enormous mouth that seems to be gnawing on one of the gemstones on the path there. And as you open the pathway, it stops, looks at you.
And just freezes.
Yeah, it's just freezing while it and watching you to see what you guys are going to do.
Have I seen anything like this before?
Yes, this is a stone spirit that of one of the minor lesser ones that they don't usually come out when there's activity, but they do like to eat gemstones. They're kind of a nuisance usually.
So they're a spirit that's a nuisance.
Yeah.
So I convey this information to Doak, who conveys
But
to
not
them.
dangerous, not likely to attack.
You'd imagine it could fight back if you were violent to it, but it's not especially dangerous.
I'm going to wave. Hi.
Yeah. It runs in this direction and then whoop, into the wall.
Okay,
That's good.
nice trick.
Am I that scary?
Same kind of trick as the shadow.
Interesting.
Stone. Let's get the hell out of here before I.
Let's try to move quietly.
And your typical pattern, Granis, has been that you, especially when you're leaving, you just let the opening just stay open to let the air refresh itself.
Yep.
But definitely once you guys step out into this area, even as soon as you opened the portal, the air, even though you probably would have called it musty and cave-like before, is so much fresher than where you had been. It just feels good. The headache lingers a little bit, but it's definitely like, oh, that's better.
I step a few feet away and let out that fart that I've been holding for 7 minutes.
That was polite.
You do not know how discomforting that was. It's a bad habit, but something I picked up when I was being chased rather by Denholmes. A badly placed fart can spell disaster. It's also
So,
smell disaster. If it's really bad. Any sign of
That
anything?
I'm going to go ahead and put up the city map here.
So
But,
where
yeah.
are we now?
Right now, let me zoom in. You are at number 14 right here. So just to refresh everybody's memory looking at this map, this whole left half here is the plateau outside, which is about 200 feet lower than the interior of the cave, which is everything to the right of this sort of middle line right here. And so right now, you guys left where the visitor center, the fountain, and the beacon were in this little area and ran in this direction to where the cell is, which is about right here at 14.
Yeah, we could light the beacon, at least for, or light the tower, at least for a little while. It would help with the light around here.
But then he'd know for sure we were up and about.
I'm pretty sure he'd know one way or the other.
Well, I mean, if we're going to do that and advertise that we're here, we may as well jump in and go all in, don't you think?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, if we're going to light the beacon anyway, let's... Well,
Well,
I'm trying to remember what we discussed last week. So we have
I
to
think
fix...
Doke was saying we also might have discussed it before we came outside.
Well, I don't think anybody was going to be thinking clearly in there.
Yeah.
That's probably true.
The only thing that I remember thinking about is if you can get the lighthouse lit, and if its rays are powerful enough, there's a lost, downed reflector somewhere.
Yes.
We could use that maybe as a weapon or deterrent, at least from the darkness fellow.
Okay, so what is it that we need to do? We need to place the reflector in a certain position to open the door?
It needs to be at the proper height, but I smashed the pedestal. And we need to light the crystal.
Right.
Okay.
And that,
Do we have,
We
our
have a
church?
church. Hey, Christiana, it worked.
Hello.
She's in the right spot.
It worked sort of. Let's see if I can make sure that. All right. Oh, see, so it's in the right spot, but we don't have a camera image yet.
nope.
All right. So, welcome, Chooch. I don't
Thank
know
you.
if you had any ability to listen to what was going on up till now.
Early on, a little bit, and then my mobile network couldn't handle the Twitch.
Well, okay. Well, the not a whole lot has happened yet. There was some discussion. If I assume you did listen to the last episode, though. I think you
Yes,
told me
yes,
that you
yes.
had. Yeah. So basically, all that's really happened is that you all took a long rest. This creature banged on the wall a few times, trying to taunt you, trying to get you to come out. But seems to have gone elsewhere for the moment. At least he's not in the immediate vicinity. You have emerged from this little vault. You saw what Granis told you was a pretty harmless rock spirit, and it ran away from you. That's where we are.
All right.
So we're heading to the exit again and going outside, is that right?
There we go.
I don't see what would be served by that other than the darkness not following us.
Maybe get a lay of the land a little bit better and fully prepare and then come in with the plan and then watch the plan go to heck.
Well, last we met, out of character, we were talking about that we were going to relight the beacon. And I thought that was our main plan. I mean, we can leave and get away and go to the forest. I do think that the spirit can follow us there, but he normally doesn't.
One other possible part of that plan was to try to use that rod, but
That's right.
That's lost now.
Well,
We have to position the reflector at a certain height, and that's kind of the only way we're going to be able to do that.
Yeah. I mean, we could maybe push a statue in the way, but that would take too much time.
I think if we just start heading towards the beacon, I'm pretty sure we're going to find it at the most inconvenient way.
All right.
All right.
He
So where are you
thinks
going?
Towards the beacon, I guess.
Okay. Are you proceeding stealthily?
Yes.
I believe so. Yep.
Yeah.
As stealthily as a stone giant can.
Okay. So Doak can't see because it's dark.
Right. He's holding on to me though.
Yeah.
Or he could just ride on my back.
I think he would be up for that if you're offering.
Yeah, sure.
He's open to new
doesn't mind.
experiences.
Normally, growing up, none of the little giants ever want stone giant piggyback rides from her because she's all weird looking. So this is actually kind of fun for her.
And generally speaking, most stone giants that Doak would know are a little too dignified and usually wouldn't be up for this. So he thinks it's pretty cool. So he's gonna ride Granis then. You guys are making your way in the dark, and if you are being stealthy, then how about some stealth checks?
Hey.
So because I don't have a full character sheet, where
It's just
would I-
dexterity if you don't have a
Just
stealth
dex,
skill.
okay.
Yeah. Duke
Ooh.
gets.
Well, that
Doak
was
gets a
fun.
19. That's not bad.
So did I.
Onicry gets a 1.
Oh,
Yeah, that's okay. So does Granis.
I got a 25.
Technically, it's a 3, but I rolled a natural 1. So
Yeah. So I think Archie, what you have discovered now that you're trying to be quiet is that the places where the rust monsters ate holes in your armor makes it really clanky when it moves around. You know, the plates don't nicely slide over each other anymore. They kind of clunk, 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 clunk. And then, of course, the rest of you are the rest of you are sneaking quietly. And then, as Granis comes up behind you, it's like,
I'm not used to carrying someone. This is different.
Flashbacks to Den Holmes. I immediately hide from her.
It'll be okay.
roll another stealth check. Are you really hiding?
Yeah. Oh, that was even better. That was a 31.
Yeah. So
where'd he go?
Yeah, you guys all lost track of Alaric.
He does that.
So you guys would be aware that you're not being especially quiet, but you're making your way towards the beacon. And one of the things, as you are getting close, on this map, the numbers here, number 6 is the beacon tower, and 5 was that ruined, fouled fountain. And as you are approaching and you can kind of see the fountain, I think Nira and Doak probably would both notice first that there is something hovering in the air above the fountain. About 40 feet off the ground.
Is it rod shaped?
Yeah, you're pretty sure that's it. It looks like the immovable rod is hovering up there.
So, Granis, you still want to toss a dwarf?
Sure. Where is he?
All right, so I have. Are you guys approaching the fountain, or are you keeping your distance? What's the plan here?
I feel like he's using this as bait.
Probably.
Never know.
Are there any high buildings near the fountain?
The beacon tower is.
Want me to throw you from there?
Does the beacon tower overlook the fountain?
Yeah.
Okay.
You gonna feather fall onto it?
That was one thought, yeah.
What's the check for aim for something like that? Is it athletics?
I would think, it could be either acrobatics or athletics.
I mean, eventually it turns into lassoing, I suspect. But well, I guess we'll check it out anyway, or I'll check it out in the area, still hidden.
So I think, are you approaching separately then, Alaric?
Yeah, he's kind of keeping his distance from the clanky people.
Okay. Okay.
We
So
have
make
no idea where he is anyway.
another stealth check then, and a perception check.
Stealth check, only a 19. And perception, 10.
Okay. Let's see.
My two best skills, and I roll badly on them. Well,
And then let's see. But okay, so you approach the fountain, and as you had seen it before, this was an enormous fountain that looks like it was once very nice, but the water is now murky and smells bad. It's got sort of something bubbling up from underneath through the water. And sure enough, as you're close, you definitely recognize the immovable rod is what is just hovering in midair near there. You see that it is about 35 feet from the wall of the tower. It is not as high as the top of the tower. But it's I'm trying to think. I can't easily do it with my hands. But so I would say it's about half as high as the top of the tower, and it's about 35 feet from the side of the tower.
okay.
Might not be jumpable then.
Yeah, it's a long way.
My concern is I don't think we should touch that water. I don't want to touch it. So I do have my Banff cape, but that can only use that once. So I can either get there or I can get down, but not both.
No, you can get up.
I think it's going to be easy getting down.
Yeah. Down will be pretty much true.
Yes, and I will fall in the water that I don't think anybody should touch.
Yes.
But
yes.
I can allow you to fall more gracefully than that.
But I would still be in the water
So,
that I
I'm
don't
gonna-
think should be touched.
You might be able to aim yourself a little bit. It slows you down quite a bit. Although
I'm going to
it's
hide
not
the map here because I do actually have a map here that I've made for the. Let me turn it to this. So, this is the fountain and the statue that was once in it that's been knocked over, a little crack bubbling up there. And so we'll say you have stealthed up to the side of it here.
I mean, you can always poke it with the stick.
If we could write the statue, would it be tall enough to reach the
Just about, but that would take some doing because if you imagine a stone statue that would be 40 feet tall, probably weighs a lot.
yeah.
So Granis could not lift something like that and prop it up.
Might be able to hold it in place once it's up, but lifting it would be difficult.
Okay.
Because the statue it's big compared to her as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the rest of you are what, hiding off a little further away, a little ways back.
Yeah.
Can I see the button on the rod?
You don't see it, and the button is normally big enough that you might expect to see it. So it might just be that the button is on the top side of it.
But the tower is taller than it,
Mm-hmm.
so I could see it from the top. I'm gonna head up the tower to take a look from there,
Okay.
keeping an eye.
I'm,
for the spiders.
Oh, well, this is happening, and I don't know where Alaric is because he's super sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
From where we're standing, though, I'm trying to keep my eyes open, expecting the darkness to show up at any point.
I want all of you hiding there to make another stealth check for me.
Sure, why not?
18.
Ooh, I did better. 2.
16. I did better than Chooch.
Can I go with Alaric?
On that note, let Alaric go ahead and make another check as you go up the tower.
Stealth check.
Yeah.
Okay. 30.
Yeah, I think you're okay. So as you guys are watching, Archie, maybe tell me how you get a 2 there while you're just waiting.
Piece of his
Did
armor
you
falls
fart?
off.
Right. No, I was just gonna say he's probably trying to figure out. He's probably trying to quietly bend part of the armor so he can be more stealthy in the future. And goes a little too far.
It's kind of like you're pulling it, trying to bend it. Oh.
I
So
was just glaring at him. It's like when somebody tries to quietly open a bag of chips.
yes,
Right.
yes. Like
Just
you
makes
just
eye
can't find a
contact.
comfortable position, and every
And
time you
just
kind of
keeps
shift your
doing
weight, clunk, 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 clunk. So, how far away from this fountain are you guys? Like, have you hit? What are you doing right now? other
So
than
is
wait?
is the fountain surrounded by kind of open area?
Yeah, it's kind of a plaza. On one side of it, the side deeper into the cave is where the tower is, and then on the other side of it is the partially collapsed visitor center building, and then on the the two sides of it, it's pretty open for a ways.
So I would think we would be standing kind of closer to like a building side, so we're not directly out in the open.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you
we
could
would hunker next to the last wall that he walked out into.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe hiding amongst the some of the rubble of the visitor center building, maybe. Okay.
So we can see that the water from where we are.
You can probably because you're tall
Yeah.
enough, but I think everyone else would need to get a little closer because the the side of the
Does
the
it look
wall of
different than it normally does?
Well, not different than it looked like yesterday,
Okay.
but certainly different than it did when it was
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
Before it was clear, drinkable water, and now you probably wouldn't want to try drinking it.
No.
So, so Alaric, you have made your way in the dark, in the quiet, stealthing up this tower to reach the top. You see the stain where you fought that spider thingy, and as you kind of look around in the various directions, you do find the window that leads where that would point in that direction. There is glass on that side. But you can look down and see the the rod hovering in air.
Okay. And from this angle, can I see the button?
Yeah, the button is on the top side.
Okay. Is there a way to get to the roof, or is there no roof?
There's no stairs that lead to the roof of this level.
Okay. And does this window open?
It does not seem to open. You don't see any sort of a lever or a fixture or anything. You do recall that the other side, the side that opens deeper into the cave, has no glass because that's where the beacon would shine out through.
Right. And the surface of the outside of the tower, how did it look? Was it rough or smooth?
Well, let's see. It's pretty rough. There's not really a substantial ledge, but it's big stone blocks is what it's made from. And they're relatively well-fitting, but on a giant scale. So if you were, if you were made a good check, you could maybe climb around it, but it's not a given. It wouldn't be trivial.
Okay. Do I see them down there, or have they all
See,
hidden?
I erased the map I had of the top of the tower room, so I can't show you there. So, I'm sorry. What was the question you just asked?
Can I see them down below as well, or are they hidden?
No, I don't. I don't think you could probably see them from here.
Okay.
You might hear Archie.
I can always hear
Yeah,
him.
yeah. I think if you're really quiet, you just kind of listen. Clank, 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 clank.
Let's see. Do I have any climbing pythons in my inventory? What do thieves' tools include? No.
Dungeoneer's kit has some, but
Yeah.
and-
Yep.
yeah. So the rest of you are kind of just hanging out down there.
You have a crap load of daggers, though.
Could we hit the button with an arrow?
If you could get a line of sight on it, but it's on the top.
Alaric, do you have a crossbow or something?
Why do you think I want to see
Can't
the
hear
top
you.
of the thing?
Okay. I'm gonna go up in the tower
Okay.
because they're noisy.
All right. Make
Something
a,
Claire
make
and
a
Archie-
stealth check.
Watch this one.
Before she leaves, Grannis is like, "Tell him I'll toss him. No problem."
It's a 14.
Okay. All right. So you make your way to the tower and you start that climb. And once again, these 3-foot high stairs are a little bit of an endurance trial. It's a lot more work to climb those than regular stairs. But you make your way up and rendezvous with Alaric up there.
You see him kind of leaning half out the window, kind of sizing it up. He's got one of the medium, the good but small daggers that he picked up from, oh man, what's his name? Scritcher. No, it would have been Prague because he was the steel guy. Yeah, he's kind of tapping at the mortar between the stones. I do have a background in masonry,
You do.
so
Hey, psst, Alaric.
yeah. Hey,
They're really loud. What do you see?
I can make out the top of the rod out there. I think I can see the button, but I'm trying not to destroy the glass. If I could move the window out of the way, I could probably hit it from here.
Yeah.
If I go up to the roof, I could really hit it.
Like with your daggers?
No, the crossbow.
Oh yeah, that makes more sense.
And I summon
Okay.
the crossbow to demonstrate that I have a crossbow. It just sort of hit his hand.
Let's see. What if... So, I have a rope, right? Everybody's got rope. That's part of the adventurer's kit, right?
Well, generally.
What if I, to maybe like a safety measure? Are you planning on climbing out there?
That was the idea, yeah.
By the way, while they're having this conversation, I think Archie, Doak is staring up at that thing and saying, I bet my rope of climbing could get up there.
Good to know.
What's that?
It's, here, check it out. And he digs in his bag. He pulls out what looks like an ordinary coil of rope. But then he whispers a magic word to it, and one end of the rope just starts floating up into the distance, and it just keeps going up and up.
Do it.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is very cool, and it goes all the way up to 60 feet to where he's got he's got one end, and it's just kind of hovering, and he says, I can tell it to fasten itself, and I can make it, here, watch this, knots, and it starts, ties itself into little knots at 1 foot intervals, but it's only 50 feet long with the knots in it.
That's cool. Should we let's go get the rod.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Nira and Alaric, while you guys are having this conversation, I like the idea, first of all, that you're kind of standing there just discussing the relative merits of the plan, and if
Probably
this were a
looking out the
TV
window at the
show,
thing. And,
yeah, you guys are looking at each other, and the camera is seeing past you out in the background out the window as a rope, not a rope, just starts. I think Doak is actually going to suggest that you climb it, Archie.
Yeah, I was just going to ask if you'd give me the honor.
He says yeah, absolutely. So basically, you get advantage because it's got the knots in it.
Okay.
So I want you to make 2 checks for me. One is an athletics check with advantage.
Let's see, 13 plus 8, so 21.
Yeah, no problem with the knots in it and everything. You're able to climb this very, very easily. And I would imagine that you guys probably came up to, Alaric's not there anymore, but you kind of came up to about here. And Doak basically commanded the one end to go and basically knot its upper end around the side of the rod.
Nice.
So Granis, did you follow them over?
Oh yes, I am with
Yeah.
them
So
because it's cool.
Boom, boom,
let's see.
clang, clang, boom, boom.
Yep.
I've also decided that Granis is pretty much excited by any experience that she's not experienced before.
Stick around.
Yeah.
So I think the other check that I wanted you to make, Archie, is another stealth check.
Sure.
That one's not an advantage.
Yeah,
Should we be doing that as well, or should I be doing that as well?
Yeah.
and I won.
12.
Okay. And Doak gets an 8. So I think that all of that is what finally draws your attention, Nira and Alaric, is you hear the clanking, he's like, is that closer than it was before? And you both kind of turn together to look out the window and see Archie scaling this rope up to the immovable rod.
What in the hell?
It does
Okay.
kind of look easier.
So, as you are making your way up to the top of this rope, Archie, you have just about gotten to the top when all of you hear this moaning sound, and I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw.
Those aren't good.
I don't, yeah.
Nobody gets my aura because I'm far away from everybody.
16.
11.
Doak gets
13.
a 7.
21.
Right. Okay. So, who rolled below a 13?
Me.
I got exactly a 13.
Okay. So Nira and Doak. What did you get, Granis?
16.
Okay. Doak and Nira, something about that sound just engages with the animal part of your brain, and you are just terrified of whatever made that noise. So you are now frightened of it. And
Oh my god, what is that? Oh my god!
and now we're
He's
going
not
to
gonna
roll
fall.
initiative.
He's
Aha.
fine. He's not going to fall. Why are you so worried? Why are you so worried?
Turn that light off. There we go. Where's my pen? There it is.
Elves.
You got to get a grappling hook and a rope.
Okay,
Can't
Doak
do much.
gets, Doak
You
gets
have this cool
initiative
one
of
with
20.
belt on his wrist and automated grappling hook.
Yeah, where did that go?
The
I
creature
think-
Yeah,
rolled a
the
natural
Doak's
20
rope
for
is-
its initiative.
Wow.
Wow.
Well,
Doak has the coolest rope.
bully to hit.
Yeah. Okay, Archie, initiative.
12.
Okay. Nira,
14.
Granis.
10.
Okay. Okay, so that who did I miss? Oh, Alaric. What was yours?
9.
All right. So it's just as well that the monster got highest initiative because otherwise you guys don't see it yet. So, what you guys see, let's see. Oh, you know what? I made the token for it, but then I didn't. One of the things that it does. Okay. What you see is something flying around, sort of circling around where the immovable rod is, and it doesn't swoop in to attack yet. But as you are all watching out the window, seeing the shape, it suddenly shimmers, and all of a sudden now it looks like there's 4 of them. And it's right now it's just sort of a dark shape, and it's kind of flying around, flapping around in the air here. So we've got kind of a, like, my little map here is kind of not representative of where everybody is right now, but so we'll just kind of have everyone's tokens here, but we just remember where you all are, and we'll just describe it. So you're actually up there at the rod, Archie, and I think Alaric and Nira see this thing flapping around too. Yeah, I'm going to say everybody can now see this shape flapping around at about the elevation that the rod is.
We can see the shape, 4 of it.
Yes.
Okay.
And you all kind of saw as there was first 1 of them, and then it looked like there were 4 without seeing 3 more fly in. It just shimmered, and now there's 4.
Have I seen this thing before?
No. All right. So it is Doke's turn first, and he is frightened. So he is. Let's see. What is he? He is going to try to cast Firebolt at it, but he is rolling at disadvantage because he is frightened. That would have been a 19, and that's a 4. So he misses as he shoots this Firebolt off into the so it just sails into the distance, and he's breathing hard, he's breathing fast, and he can't really see anyway. It's also dark, so he sounds like he's about to panic, but he does now get to make another wisdom saving throw. But he gets another 4, and so he sounds like he is about to panic. Okay, Nira, you are up. You are also just something more intense than logic has just got you terrified of whatever this thing is.
Okay. Hold on, I was looking for something. Why am I not seeing it?
Relax, it's probably not going to take your eyes.
You don't know that!
Well, right now you have glass between you and it, which probably helps.
Oh,
So
I'm trying to...
I was going to switch to a different music.
I'm trying to figure out, because this isn't like a rolling type spell. So, I was thinking that I would cast Daylight on the crystal.
Oh, while you're up there?
She's not thinking clearly anyway, so she remembers that she was going to do this at some point.
Right. Okay, let's see. Let me remind myself what that one is.
A 60-foot radius sphere of light spreads out from a point I choose within range. The sphere is bright enough and sheds dim light for an additional 60 feet.
Okay, yeah. So a lot happens when you do that. For one, it immediately makes the entire upper level of this tower brightly lit, which I would imagine you, with your dark adjusted vision, have to blink away the light for a moment. But you see that the light cast on this crystal is now engaging powerfully with this reflector and shooting light out into the cave. And you can see it now has engaged with a network of reflectors all over the cave, descending deeper and deeper in there, shining light all throughout the cave. And so basically the entire cave is now lit. It is no longer dark inside this cave.
It doesn't do any damage at all, but hey, you guys can see now. You can see the scary thing. Oh my god.
Yeah, so
turn
now,
it off.
Yeah, in some ways, I would imagine the deep-seated fear in your brain, now seeing this thing all the more clearly, is like, oh, did I just do the right thing there? Let's make another wisdom saving throw to see if you can beat that fear.
A note from Smartamaster. The music's a little loud, I guess.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let me try.
Wisdom. Oh. So that's a +7 for saving throws, right?
Yeah.
Am I reading that right? Okay. Yeah, so that is a 25.
Is the new volume better, everyone? In the chat, 25. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah. So you are able to push past this fear, which you recognize now as some sort of a magical thing that was working on you, rather than logical, normal sort of fear. Okay. So, yes, it is now brightly lit everywhere in this cave. And
Well, we have an hour.
It's considerably more impressive than when it was just the light cantrip. Okay, Archie, you're up. This thing is kind of flapping around you. It does look like there's 4 of it, but it is circling around you pretty specifically.
Mm-hmm. But it's outside of melee range, right?
Yeah. It gets about, probably at closest right now, it gets to about 10 feet with it, from you.
Okay, I was thinking compel duel, but it's already pretty interested in me. So...
You would not be a bit surprised to discover that the noise that you were making while climbing was what attracted its attention in the first place.
Yeah. Crazy. Crazy that.
You are at the rod.
Yeah.
Which is 40 feet in the air. Above the poison fountain.
So I'd swung up on top of it? Or I still
Yeah,
need to
well,
do that?
I'd say if you want to use your movement to kind of straddle the rod instead of hanging on the rope, you could do that.
Hey, Chooch, you have Misty Step, right?
I do. But I like having it up here distracted away from you guys.
Don't be a hero, Chooch. Don't be a hero.
I gotta be some. I'm gonna go ahead and cast Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
Mystically make it my query, and then fire a couple arrows at it.
I'm thinking about because this thing that it's got where it's made its duplicates with an attack or a harmful spell.
Is Hunter's Mark a harmful spell? Is that the question?
It is.
I'm going to say
when
no,
you
because
do
it's not
damage.
by itself, because it only does damage if you hit otherwise.
Right.
So I'm going to say that you managed to Hunter's Mark. The mystical energies of the spell are able to see through this thing that it's doing. So you can't visually tell which one is which is the real one, but your spell is able to take hold of the one creature that's actually there, even though you're not sure which one it is.
Right. And it doesn't give advantage, it's just, And then I will unleash 2 arrows at it.
Okay. You would have, you're not at disadvantage or anything, it's brightly lit, so just go ahead and make your attack roll.
First one is 23.
Okay.
23, yeah.
All right. Out of sheer dumb luck, it apparently hits the real one. So 23 definitely hits.
And that's 5, 6, 7 points.
Okay. So it kind of shudders in air as the arrow strikes it, and the other 3 of them do mirror the motion exactly.
Interesting.
Mhm.
And the other one was 16, 22 total.
So does that mean it has arrows sticking out of it now? Like we could mark it, or would the other ones also have arrows?
No, I'm gonna say you can't see it. Yeah, they all look the same. So it seems like they all have one now. And the other arrow seems to strike one and then sail right through it, but then that one vanishes. So there now seems to only be 3 of them.
All right.
Okay.
That is it for me.
You know what?
Oh, I didn't roll the
Yeah.
extra damage.
The
The
extra.
hunter's mark damage.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. For the first hit, definitely.
Just a 1d6.
You know what? And I'm actually I'm ruling out now that I'm just reading the ability, and now that once Nira made the whole cave brightly lit, all of those duplicates vanished. So the second one
Oh,
hits too.
wow. Sweet.
So go ahead and roll the damage for the second
So
one and
it's-
the hunter's mark.
Second was 1 plus. What's my bonus again? Scrolling. 1 plus 2, so 3 points of damage, and then.
Let's see. Yeah, it's one in the Smarter Master in the chat speculated that both tracks might be playing, and I think you're right, they were. So should be fixed now. All right. So I'm sorry. What was the damage of the second one plus the hunter's mark? Or
Oh, so 3 and then 4, so 7 total.
okay. All right. So yes, all of the duplicates disappeared as soon as the bright light from the beacon tower illuminated the area.
Nice.
All right, Granis, you are up,
I am
and
up.
you're watching Archie fire arrows at it from up on top of this thing.
So around me, are there any rocks or debris from the
Yep,
statue?
there's the rubble. From the statue and the rubble from the collapsed visitor center. That's pretty close.
All right. So I'm gonna pick up a rock
All right.
and throw it at it.
Okay, make that roll.
So that is a 23.
Okay. I'm just pretty sure you're not at disadvantage from the distance. What does it say for your range?
My range is 60 feet to 250.
Oh yeah.
240
So
feet.
you're good then. So 23 definitely hits.
Okay. So that's 4 d10 plus 6. That's 10, 15, 22 plus 6. It's 28 points of damage.
Wow. All right.
Her
And,
definition of rock.
yeah, that actually
Large
ended up being the median, the average damage.
Mm-hmm. And so if Nira hadn't turned the lights on, you would have had a 1 out of 4 chance of actually hitting the real one. But I think all of you now watch as Granis just picks up rock, and this enormous rock just bashes it as it flies through the air, and it sort of flies crooked for a little bit, flapping sort of around. And now that you can see it a little better in the light, it looks almost like this weird flapping manta ray with these big sort of leathery wings.
One more thing, it has to do a strength check to see if it gets knocked prone.
Oh,
It has to be a 17.
it does not get a 17. So as you bean it, yeah, it's going to fall all the way to the ground.
Does it fall in the water?
Well, I'll roll for that, but first let's
Okay.
see what its damage is. It's going to take another 15 falling damage, and I'm going to say that it actually lands like on the side of the thing right there. All right.
I like Gratis.
Yeah, that did a lot of damage to this thing.
Do you want to stay with us forever?
All right, so Alaric, you're up. What are you gonna do now that
Well.
it's
Can I even see it now from the tower?
I'd say if you like lean way close to the window and look down, you can kind of see it.
Is it still moving?
It does seem like it's still moving. It was definitely hurt a lot by that attack, but it's not dead.
Does it look? Can I? Never mind. Decide what to do. I was already holding it anyway, and I'll get Drakar to fix the window. I'll use my first attack to smash a part of the window open.
Okay, make a strength check or athletics if that's better.
Yep. That's a 25.
That'll do it. It's pretty strong glass, but a 25 gets it done.
All right, and then with the crossbow aiming down at it, unfortunately it's prone, so that makes it harder.
Yeah, it's also going to be probably like 80 feet from you.
That's exactly the short range for the crossbow.
Well, lucky you.
I don't get the natural 20 though because of disadvantage, so I only get 25.
Only 25? Yeah, I
Yes.
think you hit.
I think I have to be close to it for the other form of rakish audacity. Yeah, I have to be close to it, so
right.
I only get the regular damage,
Okay.
which is 3. No, sorry, 6.
Okay. All right.
Get it.
Okay. It is now its turn, and it is going to take off again. I don't think this thing has to use half of its movement to stand up. That's not how this thing's anatomy works. It's like a big flopping flying manta ray. It doesn't stand up, it just takes off again. So I'm going to say, I'm ruling that it goes straight back at you, Archie, and it's going to attack you. And it's going to roll a 3. It rolls a 3 with its bite attack, which is going to miss. But then it also makes a tail attack. Then gets a natural 1.
Oh.
So this thing flops its way up at you, and then it basically, like, it kind of slams into the rod next to you. And so I think it's kind of almost half resting on it, and it's sort of flopping around like a bird getting caught in the porch. And it misses you with both of its attacks. Yeah. All right. That's what it does on its turn. This thing is not proving it to be super effective here. All right. It's Doke's turn. He was going to try to cast something to give it light, but he's going to try another firebolt, but he's still frightened of it, so he's rolling at disadvantage. And that 3 is probably not going to work. Yeah. So he misses once again, gets another chance to roll wisdom saving throw against the fear. Nope. He is still terrified of it, despite the fact that you guys are trouncing it handily. So that's Doke's turn. Nira.
How far away is it from me now? Because it's back up in the air.
It's 35 feet out and about maybe 40 feet down. And it's like right on top of Archie, where the rod is.
Okay. So, would you say it's within a 60-foot range?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm gonna need it to make a wisdom saving throw as I cast the cantrip Toll the Dead.
Okay.
I have not used this
Wisdom
one
saving
before.
throw, and it gets a
Ring the
5.
bell.
It's rolling
Woohoo!
very poorly.
It is taking 2d12 of necrotic damage.
Wow. Okay.
That is a 10, and that is a 4, so 14. It was missing hit points, otherwise it would have been 2d8.
So, Archie, as this thing is flopping and flapping around near you, it suddenly sort of seizes up and shrieks. It looks very weak now, but it's still moving around a little bit.
Boom.
All right, so that makes it your turn, Archie, and this thing is
My
like,
turn.
yeah, it is at your mercy now.
Swap out the bow for the sword and shield, and Unhacked as a 19.
All right, that hits. And it has 1 hit point. So how do you put this poor creature out of its misery?
It's nice straight in half.
All right.
It's like a fillet.
Yeah. I think you rolled high enough that I'm not gonna. I was tempted to make you do a check to see if you accidentally hit the button when you chop this thing in half right in front of you. But no, you're good at what you do. You know what you're doing. So yes, as you see this pitiful thing, clearly outmatched by you guys, and it's already very weak, and you just end its suffering with your sword, and the 2 pieces separate over both sides of the rod, and then sploosh sploosh into the fountain.
Is there any reaction when the body hits?
Make a perception check, given that you are far away. Kira.
That is definitely one advantage of having paper tokens you can just print another copy of.
Yeah.
It got cut.
Perception is like I think that's +7. Yes. Okay, so there's a 19.
You don't see any reaction. I mean, it splooshes into the water. There doesn't seem to be any other effect. And Granis and Doke are right there, and they can confirm that nothing seems to happen.
It's just gross.
Now, that said, the sort of the bubbling of air from above where this crack is, it continues. So no change there.
Okay.
All right. So we are no longer in initiative. You have defeated the cloaker before it even got to
All
actually
right.
attack.
Woohoo!
Well, I guess
So
technically
now-
it got to attack once. It just missed.
Yeah. It's missed.
Now that it's dead, Doke is no longer frightened.
Correct.
I think it heard me.
You think? Grab the rod.
I mean, all right.
I think we should
Push the
probably
button.
go down near and see
You're
how
pushing
much
the button?
danger they get into.
Should I push it? I'm gonna push it.
You might have trapped.
Yeah, let's go down, see how badly they're gonna hurt themselves
pushed
with this.
Okay, while you guys were talking about that, Archie pushes the button, and the rod and Archie both immediately drop towards the.
Oh, he's not holding on to the rope?
The rope is tied to the rod.
He couldn't use Misty Step to get away.
Well, that's what I was gonna do as I start to fall.
Okay, well, so Misty Step is not usually a reaction, though.
It's a bonus action.
Yeah, okay, I'll allow that. So, what are you where
Yeah,
are you
it's
Misty
a bonus
stepping to,
action.
though? You're 40 feet in the air and 35 feet from the tower.
Oh, sugar.
Better think fast. You're falling.
And the base of the statue is way up there, huh?
Well, so right now, obviously, like you're way up in the air. You're more or less above the base of the statue, which is maybe 10 feet off the ground. But I'm saying you're 40 feet up from ground level. So if you fall onto the base of the statue, I did just say 10 feet, so I'll allow that. That is 30 feet from you.
Right. So that's what I would try to
All right.
teleport to.
Okay.
With
You Misty Step.
hope that magic breaks physics.
Okay. Now make a dexterity check.
My dex is
I was ready to react.
save. It's just a check.
Nope,
so
just
it's
a check.
+1, which is only a 3.
You're gonna take. Rolled high. You're gonna take 17 points of bludgeoning damage as the immovable rod hits you on the head. But you are both now on this statue base, and I think the rest of you are observing that.
That hurt.
Got it.
And then you actually all hear a voice as darkness starts to emerge up in the area here. I have my where did I put my little darkness circle?
It's not little.
Should have stayed in the tower.
And it is emerging up there, and it's just laughing. It says, "Most entertaining, but overall too soon. Still, I've not had such intelligent prey for a while. I think I'll keep you."
I think that was an insult against me.
Did he just cough?
You know what? I'm also just realizing. Hang on, the daylight spell.
Mm-hmm. It's sunlight, so.
Well, that's not specifically what I was looking for, because there were some of the spells. If any of the spells area overlaps with an area of darkness cast by a spell, it dispels the magical darkness. So I think as it emerges, at first you see this magical darkness emerging, but then as it emerges further from the ground, you see the actual creature.
What the?
That's pretty ugly.
Yeah. So this thing is an enormous worm-like shape with all sorts of spiny little legs emerging along its length, an enormous eyeless face, and these arm-like clawed wings that don't look big enough to make it fly, but are, prehensile and not prehensile, vestigial. In a way. And as it fully emerges and you see the magical darkness dispelled, it does sort of pause in its gloating and then just kind of... Interesting. All right.
Darkness.
So, what are you guys doing?
Seeing this shape, just a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Would I know anything more about this creature from maybe lore I grew up with?
Make a history check, which you probably don't have a skill for, so just intelligence.
Okay. Yeah, that's a 10.
You're not sure, but it's definitely not something that you guys would see regularly. It must have come from deep.
Yeah. So nothing really new.
Oh. All right. So it's looking around at you, kind of gazing around. It's turning its head. You notice that it doesn't seem to actually even have eyes, but it's turning its head as though it's pointing, looking straight at each of you and just saying, "So, what's your next step then?"
Are Alaric and I still coming down from the tower, or are we down already?
I'm going to say, how about this? About this time is when you emerge from the bottom of the tower. You heard it talking as you were descending, and now you are about to emerge from the bottom of the tower, and I would say only about to emerge if you guys would decide to not come out.
And they used to call me ugly.
I
caution her from moving out, and I'm going to hide in the doorway.
Okay.
No. Fuck that. I'm gonna run out and I'm gonna cast Ice Storm.
Okay. Ice Storm, huh?
Yeah, I kind of knew that was going to happen.
Okay, so we're gonna roll initiative then.
Alaric, hide.
Okay. I am going to I'm gonna let you cast Ice Storm, and then we're rolling initiative, and we'll be in that order. Okay.
Okay.
So, Ice Storm, a hail of rock-hard ice pounds to the ground in a 20-foot radius. I would assume that you are centering it around this thing,
Yes.
right?
Nobody should be close enough to, because it takes up a lot of space.
Right. Okay.
I figured now is my best chance.
Yeah. Really.
Okay. Okay, it's going to make a dexterity saving throw. All right, I have to get its actual stats out now. All right.
Let's see. Even if it's makes the
It
save,
gets
then
an
it'll take
11.
half. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
It gets
okay.
an 11 on its dexterity saving throw.
All right. Hold on.
It's
Let me.
huge. Dexterity it's not jumping around like that spider thing.
All right. So it takes 7 bludgeoning damage and 14 ice cold damage. Yeah. That's
Okay,
right.
7 bludgeoning damage.
Yeah.
And then 14, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Cold damage.
Okay. It doesn't seem overly concerned.
And that's also, I think it makes it difficult terrain right now, doesn't it?
This one doesn't. Sleet Storm does.
Oh,
wait,
that's
no, you're
Sleet
right.
Storm.
It does turn the storm's area of effect into difficult terrain until the end of your next turn. Yeah. Okay. So, let's do initiative.
That happened.
I really hope that was a good decision.
Okay.
It was
We
going
have
to
to
come to
have,
this
like-
anyway. Come on.
Do we have to have like knockout drops or something we can do to keep Nira from becoming a barbarian?
It actually rolled pretty low with its initiative too. So lucky all you guys. But basically, as you do this and it is pelted with this magical hail, it kind of... You want to play then? Let's play. All right, so I'm going to say, yeah, you guys, let's just go ahead and go with this, where you guys are located on the map right now. That's where you are.
Yep.
But let me back the map up, camera up a little bit. I can zoom it out a little bit.
So Mother Dragon in the chat says the elf don't bother with taking names. She just kicks the butts.
All right. So, Nira, what'd you get for initiative?
16.
16. Okay, Alaric?
7.
Okay, Doke gets 14. Granis?
5.
All right. You tied with the cave dragon, because that's what this is.
What's his dex?
+1?
I've got a +2.
Oh, well, you get to go first, then.
All right.
Ahead of him. And then,
Archie.
Archie.
Tied with Doke. 14.
Is this our first dragon?
First one you fought, yeah.
Yeah, it might be the last one. Why'd you pick him?
Well, we'll see. Okay, let me see. The focus is a little bit off here. Can we get that a little better? There we go. All right, and let's get the good combat music.
Crap, you guys, you know what we forgot to do?
Wow.
I think plan. I don't know.
Cast protection from poison on everybody. Whoops.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Funny how that happens when you just run in and dash out of stealth. And,
Who was going to do that? Oh, yeah, you were.
And also Archie.
And me, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, Nira, you just cast Ice Storm, but you actually are up again with your initiative first.
Oh, crap,
So,
I wasn't planning.
um,
Okay. I will.
All right, and then let's get this battle music.
You know what? I think I'm just gonna go big guns right away. Yeah.
Let's see, that's yeah. Let's get some of those.
Okay. I'm trying to decide what's gonna do the most damage here. And it looks like. Yeah. Okay. So I am going to use. That's self 30 feet, and I'm not close enough. So, okay. So I am going to cast Dawn. Let's see what happens.
Okay. All right. Okay. I have to look up all of these spells because you're casting the big guns now, right? Okay. So a 30-foot radius, that's really big. 40-foot high cylinder of bright light. It is sunlight. Creature makes a Constitution saving throw. It is going to first roll its Constitution saving throw. And it gets a 28 on its
Ooh.
Constitution saving throw.
No,
So
trying to-
it will take half damage from your 4d10.
okay, so let me think. 21. And 20. So that's 29 total. Half of that is what, 14 and a half? So 14.
Well, what, 29 is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 14. So first let me draw. This is that was a 20-foot radius, so that's bigger than that. So this is the ice storm, and then the dawn cylinder. It's like that, roughly. Okay, so it's going to take 14 radiant damage.
Okay.
All right. That is Mira's turn. And Archie, you're up.
I went to use an action to cast haste upon myself.
Okay. Hasted.
Hasted.
You get that dramatic, bullet time style. The world seems to slow down for you.
There's no spoon. I think. Yeah, I think it's gonna try to move no matter what. So I can't think of any way to root it in that ice storm. So as a bonus action, I'll cast Compelled Duel
Okay.
on it. I attempt to compel it into a duel,
Okay.
and it makes a Wisdom saving throw.
All right. It rolls a
Versus-
24.
Yeah, no problem.
So your spell it shakes off the magical effect, unfortunately. Are you moving at all?
No, I'm not going to stay here and use my second action with the haste. I'll go ahead and you would do 2 arrow attacks.
Okay.
First one's a 22.
That'll hit.
The other one's a 15.
Okay. The 15 misses.
Okay. So 22 gets 3, 4, 5 points of piercing damage.
All right. So the first arrow strikes home, sticks into the side of its wing. The second one just bounces off of its scales. All right. That is that's your turn.
Yes.
All right. It is Doke's turn, and he's gonna say, "That's dragon," and he is going to cast Fireball on it.
Haha.
Good identification there, Doke.
Is there any family resemblance?
I think so. I just realized by accident that my dry erase markers work pretty well on my monitor.
Oh no.
Um,
no.
It actually wiped right off, though. That's nice.
Oh.
So, the dragon is gonna roll a 15, which actually does beat the DC. So it's only gonna take half that 8d6 damage. So
I'm reminded of that one X-Files episode where Mulder draws on somebody's monitor with a Sharpie. Rage-inducing.
So it would be 31, but is only going to be 15 instead. 15 fire damage from this eruption of fire surrounding it. Yep. All right. And as this huge explosion of fire surrounds it, you see the fire clear, and it's still looking pretty good. Alarak, you're up. We can allow that you were hidden at the start of this turn if you want.
Are we really doing this? So there's the big cone of light, and then there's a smaller kind of disc of ice on the ground.
Right, and it's only actually, you know what? Actually, that's gone because it only lasted to the end of Nira's next turn, and she went first.
Okay.
Yeah. So the blue ice is gone, but this light is still there.
Okay. Do I know if it's dangerous to walk into that, or like is it like the moonbeam
it
one we've
looks
seen
like
before?
really intense light.
Okay.
So I would think that
Stay out of the light.
do not walk into the light. Do not go into the light.
Okay. Well, in that case, I gather my hands together, and in them is a small gem, and I proceed to cast Chromatic Orb at 2nd level.
Okay.
Let's see if I can hit anything. 17 to hit.
17 misses.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Oh. I will use my bonus action to hide.
Okay. Where are you hiding?
Inside the doorway of the tower.
Okay.
Getting it from my shelter.
Make a stealth check.
27.
All right.
Oh, you said I was hidden though, right?
You
Does
were
that mean
hidden at the start of the turn, and then you cast a spell.
Yeah, but does that mean I get advantage on the spell because I was hidden?
Yes.
There's one chance in a hell here, so. And I roll a 1, so never mind.
All right.
I only got 2 seconds on the spell. I'll try to use them as best as I can.
And then you said you rolled a 27 on your stealth?
Yes.
Okay. Perception score. Yeah, okay. You have attempted to hide in the doorway again.
So nicely put.
Yeah. And then okay. Sorry, this thing can do a lot of stuff. Okay, yeah. Yeah, alright. So that was Alarek's turn. Granis, you're up.
All right, so I pick up another rock
Mm-hmm.
and I hurl it as much as all my force.
Okay.
Oh yes. So that is 27.
Okay, 27 will hit. And I'm going to just basically rule, first of all, that I'm not going to have you have to look for a new rock each time, but I'm going to say you have to move in order to find a new rock.
Okay.
You have to move at least 15 feet.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So 27 to hits.
Yep. And so let's see, that's 14, 19, 25 plus 6, 31.
Okay.
And he'll have to also do a strength check.
Okay. And it gets a 22 on the strength check.
He is not knocked prone.
All right. It is now his turn. And first, he's going to inhale.
Uh-oh.
Let's see.
Here it comes.
All right. Trying to figure out exactly how this cone works in terms of like where I'm starting it from, given how big he is. Okay, so I'm gonna say. Yeah, he's gonna move a little bit closer right here, up onto the rim of this fountain, and exhale, and breathe out this cloud of black smoke that you guys recall from yesterday. And I need Granis, Doak, and Archie to make a Constitution saving throw.
All right.
Oh, that was pretty good. 27.
Okay, 27 is a success. Doak actually also rolls a 27. He got a natural 20, and that's what gets him
Nice.
to a 27.
Nice.
And then Archie,
21.
21. Okay, so those are all successes. So you're going to take half damage, but I need to use my dice roller for this. You're taking half of 16 d6. Come on.
Yeah, that's a lot. I remember being hit by this last time. It was 52 damage at it last time.
Yeah. All right, so 52 would be the maximum. So you're all three going to take 26 poison damage. You are not, because you succeeded on your saving throws, though, you are not poisoned. But then, after breathing this poisonous smoke on you, it sinks into the ground, out of sight. All right. Nira, your turn.
Crap! I was really hoping you'd have this turn there. I'm going to see. Can I hold my action until I see him again?
You can?
Okay,
What action
so
are you holding?
as a bonus action, so there's two, because I can move the cylinder of light as a bonus action on my turn.
Yeah.
So doing that, God, it just really depends on where he pops up. I don't know. Let's see. He doesn't seem to have any eyes. So, where
How far
is that
can you
spell?
move it on your bonus? Okay,
60 feet.
Yeah, all right.
Hold on. Where is this spell? That's within 30 feet. Okay, if he pops up within 30 feet of me, I would like to cast... No, you know what? Can I split and hold a bonus action and use a regular action? Or do I have to do them both?
I think that if you hold an action, you are forfeiting the bonus action. No, well, I'm not sure that's true. I don't remember how that works.
Alright, let me look at something. Let's see. Okay.
No,
You know what? I changed my mind. So I'm going to hold my action until I see it, and then I'm going to cast Protection from Poison on myself and move the cylinder.
wait, so...
That's the
Wait.
bonus action. Or wait, if I hold my action, do I still get it, or do I not?
Well, if you're going to cast Protection from Poison on yourself, why wouldn't you just do that?
Because I also want to move the cylinder. Well, hold on, because I think moving this the dawn
So, okay,
spell
if
is
you-
concentration, so I don't think I can I? I can't cast another spell.
Hang on.
Not another concentration spell.
I can't cast another concentration spell.
Right.
Okay.
So let's see. I'm looking at...
Protection from poison is not concentration, though.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you can either So remember, when you are holding your action, that counts as your reaction when it happens. To be ready to casting time, must have a casting time of 1 action. Okay, I mean, I guess if you, yeah, so you do still get an action and a bonus action, and you can
Okay.
hold the action. And
Okay.
It makes, so you can't hold both because you're using your reaction to do the one or the other.
Okay. So I can use my action now to cast protection from poison and the bonus action as the reaction?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to do that then, and I will
Okay.
cast protection from poison on myself.
Okay. You have cast the protection from poison, and you're holding what? The bonus action to move the dawn
Move
if
it.
you see
Yes.
it again.
Yes.
Okay. Now, here's the problem. What if you see it somewhere that to move it over him, it would have to move it over yourself as well, or one of your allies? Would you still do it?
No, I would not.
All right. So, that is Nira's turn. As you, I think just as you have just finished your turn, all of a sudden, emerging from the stone is the maw of this dragon.
Of course it is.
Yeah. And it is making 2 bite attacks against you.
Yay.
And so it is, are you moving, and it is emerging basically right here. So you can move it and to have it cover yourself as well if you want.
It takes a lot of damage though.
Could she move?
It's up to you. You can,
Just not touching her, but it's touching where the mouth would be coming from.
this is a reaction. I think that you can,
Okay.
moving it like all the way around, like that starts messing with the fiction, I think.
Okay.
I don't think you have like ultra precision control in that in a reaction.
Yeah. Well, because I'm likely in all likelihood I will take the bite damage.
Split second. You're gonna
Okay,
take the bite damage anyway.
No, I'm not gonna move it.
Okay. So the bite attacks then. First one is a 16. Does that
That
hit?
hits. Well, I've got my shield up, so I'm trying to remember what that would be, because I think my armor was down to 14, but then I have my shield, so that's an extra 2. Is that right?
I don't remember.
Yeah, shields give you Grant +2.
They grant
Okay.
plus 2, yeah.
Yeah. So my armor class would then be a 16.
Okay, so then it does hit. And that's going to be, let's see. $16 piercing damage and 4 poison damage, but because you just cast resistance to poison on yourself, I guess that's halved.
Yeah. So 18 total.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the second bite attack is going to be a 26. And that's going to be 13 piercing damage. And no poison damage because it rolled a 1, so you would be having the 1.
Okay.
Right. But then as its maw withdraws from the bite, it's withdrawing once again below the stone ground.
Okay.
All right. Archie, your turn.
I like that play. I'm going to cast protection from poison on myself.
All right.
And I guess I'm gonna draw the bow and hold an action to attack it if I see it again.
All right. Okay. You are holding your arrows, and okay.
Hold fast.
Okay. It is Doke's turn. What is he gonna do? Given that he can't see it, he is going to cast Blink on himself. And so then first end of his roll is he rolls a 3, which is not 11 or higher, so nothing appears to happen. He has cast a spell on himself, but nothing appears to happen this round. Okay, Alaric, you're up.
We need to go. We need to find a better place. Trust me, if someone ran away from a thing I couldn't kill for 4 years, we can't face it here. That's to Nira, who's the only one near me. I'm going to move out. Let's see. I can make it to that center part where Otterkey is. Yeah.
Yeah, so you could actually walk along the top of the fallen statue if you wanted.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
So
I'm going to position myself.
15, 20, 25. Are you dashing?
Yeah, I'll use my bonus action to dash.
Okay.
I'm going to position myself with my back to the large sphere of sun where it's not going to come out.
Okay.
So kind of push me over kind of next to the big ray.
All right.
Hopefully the ray doesn't kill me with it, but at least it's...
So the idea is you're watching for it to emerge somewhere over here.
Exactly, because it's probably not going to emerge where it's going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I say pretty much the same thing to Otterkey. We have to find a better spot. We can't stand here. I'm going to hold my action with my crossbow. If I see it, I'm going to shoot it.
Okay. All right. That's Alaric's turn. Granis.
All right. So I would like to move kind of towards the south part of the fountain here,
Okay.
so that I can see where it was last seen.
Okay.
And
You can definitely see over this
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
And I am going to be ready to give it a pretty bad look when I see it. I'd like to. Can I
Hold your
move? Hold
evil
my
eye.
eye. Yes.
Okay. Yep.
I didn't want to out what it was, but
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Just don't pick out your eye and point it at it, because I'll send Nirkina into shivers.
Okay. So let's see. So, on its turn, it emerges from the ground right here, and all of this murky water is just dripping off of it as it emerges up from the ground. And so, before anything else, everyone gets to do their held actions.
Yep.
So, Archie, you got your arrows.
Yeah. Alright, so one will hit.
Okay. What was it?
22.
Yep, that'll hit.
That's only 10. 8 plus 2 is 10 points. Piercing.
All right. The other, the other second attack was?
Oh,
Or
yeah,
did
it was
you roll?
10.
Okay, yeah, 10 would miss. Okay. And now, what was, Alaric, you...
I have my crossbow ready.
Yeah, okay.
15 to hit.
Okay. 15 misses, unfortunately.
Yeah.
The bolt just strikes a hard, bony protrusion and glances off. Okay, now your thing, Granis.
Yes. Yes. So I will do my thing,
Uh-huh.
and he has to make a charisma saving throw and beat a 14, and just take a bigger eye and just glare directly into its soul if it has one.
It rolled a 28.
It has no soul.
It has no soul.
No, it's yeah. If it had eyes, it would probably you got something
But
on
it-
your face.
It
Oh wait,
still
that is
takes
your
half
face.
damage. It still takes half damage though.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
All right.
Much damage on a successful.
Okay.
Does
Well,
it
then
need to be
roll
able
that
to see
damage
you?
then.
Let's roll that beautiful beam footage. All right, so let's see. That's 6, 10, 15, 18, and then 24.
Yeah.
That the 24 is
So it's half of
yeah,
the
yeah, so it takes
Sorry.
12.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Psychic damage.
Mhm.
And I just realized I was rolling my damage earlier with the wrong dice. I was
Mm.
doing D8s instead of D10s,
Oh.
so they
okay.
should have been worse.
All
But they
right.
worked really well, so that's
Yeah.
okay.
Mhm. Okay, so that was everybody's held actions. I think. First, I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw. And Alaric, because you are within 10 feet of Archie, you benefit from his aura.
Oh, is that advantage or
It's a plus something.
+4.
+4?
Oh, and technically, do you have Aura of Courage yet, Archie? Is that one of the...
Yes, I do.
So does that make you immune
You
to
cannot
being frightened?
immune to fear.
Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, both Alaric and Archie are immune to its frightening presence. Frightful presence.
I knew hanging out with you was going to help.
Fear not.
But
26.
Doke is frightened.
Yeah.
Mira, what did you get?
26.
Okay, you are not frightened. Granis?
24.
Okay, not frightened. All right, good job, everybody. That said, he does still get to attack. So he's going to. I think he's going to bite at Alaric and then use 2 claw attacks against Archie. So that's a 23 to hit on the bite.
Damn.
+11 plus 8. So yeah, 19 piercing damage and 6 poison damage. But you have your dwarven resistance point. Yeah,
Yeah.
so 3. So that's the bite, and then against Archie, the 2 claw attacks. That is just an 18, which I believe.
The
Well, what are you at
Oh.
now? Because you have your reduction.
Yeah, normally it would be 18, but I last used the bow. I didn't switch back to my
That's true.
shield, sword and
You
shield.
you readied your bow. Okay, so that does hit then.
Yep.
Okay. So that's going to be. So that's 14 slashing damage. And then the second attack. Yeah, that's more like it. That's a 31.
Oh,
And that's going to be 15 slashing damage.
Ow.
Okay. And it just glances around at all of you and says, "This is most amusing." And then it drops down beneath the ground again.
So
Coward!
And then it then you hear sort of rumbling from under the ground, like the voice coming up from this crack in the floor of the fountain is saying, "I thought you suggested hide and seek."
Son of a bitch.
All right, Nira.
Did he leave? Well, that doesn't really affect what I was going to do next. So I'm going to cast Mass Cure Wounds. And that is 3d8 plus 3.
And what's the range of that?
Uh,
'Cause we're on a big map right now.
yeah, it's let's see, up to 6 creatures in a 30-foot radius sphere centered on that point.
30-foot radius. Okay. So that's 6 square radius.
Okay, so can I move? So that
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to move. Let's see, how far can I get?
6 squares. If you still want your action. So 1,
Yeah.
2. You could hop up onto the statue here. 3, 4, 5. So you could get to like there.
Okay, and let's see.
And it's 30-foot radius. And
Yeah.
what's the range of how far away it can be? So, because if you're right here
Says
and you want to be in
range
the range.
60, range
Okay.
60, area 30.
Okay, so if you can get to here, and if you want to be in the range,
Yes, yes, I
One.
do.
so it would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 20, 25, 30. Yeah, so from there you could get everybody in a 30-foot radius.
Okay, so that is a 21 points for everybody.
How much was it was 26 poison damage earlier, right?
Yes.
I forgot to take it off of Dokes. Okay, and then just gained how much?
21.
Okay. I could have done that more simply, but okay. All right. That was Nira's turn. Archie.
Archie, and it's invisible again. So we need to go. Where are we gonna go? Back to the tin can?
I would remind you we have 1 hour for daylight.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna do this, I say we just go and do this.
I say we do this, yeah.
We can't do this. Not now. Not here. Not like this.
No, I mean leave and go find this reflector and put it up and
Oh,
do the
that.
thing.
So yeah, I guess I'm going to move.
Okay.
I guess run up the statue because we're still trying to avoid the pool. If that's irrational or irrational fear, I don't know. So I guess I would run up the statue and I guess around the pool as far as I can get towards Doke. I'm hasted, so my movement's
Okay.
doubled.
So you're right here. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50, 45, 50, 55, 60. And that's, I
Yeah.
guess, if your regular movement as opposed to if you use your dash.
Yeah. Yeah, because then I'll switch out my weaponry, so I have my shield and hold my
Okay.
last action in case it shows up near me where I can take a swing at it.
All right. So as you finish your turn, its tail emerges from under the ground and takes a swing at you. And that's going to be... Oh, yeah, that's another 18. So you got your shield
My
out, though,
armor
right?
class is back to 18, right?
Yeah, okay. So you can swing your sword at it.
Which is a mighty 12.
12 misses.
Alright.
Oh, fair's fair, though, that it
times.
missed, too.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Oh, my attack action, I guess.
Yeah,
The two
yeah,
attacks.
yep.
Swing. Oh, that's natural 1. Oh, no, it's a 7, sorry.
Wait,
Good. So it's only a 13. Not
Okay,
good enough.
13 still misses. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a awkward trading of blows there. Okay. All right. It is Doke's turn. He is still terrified, but also can't see it now, so he's kind of not sure what to do. I think he's kind of starting to panic to all of you guys, and he's just like, and he is going to, I think he's going to hold his action to try to use the Wand of Binding on it if he sees it again. And then we roll his blink, and you guys see him holding out this wand, ready, looking everywhere, and then disappears. Yeah. Okay.
I hope he was supposed to do that.
And it's not concentration, so it's like you can't just stop. Okay. All right. That was Doke's turn. And I think actually, Archie, you're going to get another one of these tail swings. All right. That's going to be 21 to hit.
That'll hit.
And then 11 plus, yeah, that's 19 bludgeoning damage. As the tail once again emerges and whack. And then you guys hear this weird sort of spectral echoing of like, stupid, ethereal plane. Sounded like Doke complaining about something.
Oh, I can unleash my hellish rebuke since it did a damage to me. Although,
Okay.
I guess it won't take that
you
much
can do that.
since it is apparently also fire resistant. But
Makes a saving throw.
so, no hellish rebuke. It's just No, wait, is it?
I think it still gets to make a saving throw. Maybe it takes half damage, but
Where is it?
if it's like
I used it
Nero's
before.
Wrath of the Storm.
Dex save.
So it rolled low, but it's choosing to succeed anyway.
Nice.
So you start to reach out to channel this hellish rebuke, and then find it just suddenly it is able to just force some of the energy back at you, and so it only is going to take what, half still or none?
Yeah, 2 fire failed, say half as much.
Okay, yeah. So it's choosing to succeed at the saving throw, but it can't ignore all of it. So
Gotcha. So it would take 6 points
okay.
of fire damage.
All right. You guys have done a fair amount of damage to it. All right. That was following Doke's turn. So Alaric, you're up.
Okay. Make a running start of it. Basically, I move back 10 feet and then jump over the green towards Granis to land on the other side, hopefully.
Shoo. Like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I reach into my pack
Nice.
and I pull out a mirror and I hold it into the light of the dawn, hopefully to be able to reflect it to wherever the thing is coming to. That's the action I'm going to hold.
Okay.
I was going to say something. Granis realized that Granis won't understand me anyway, so I stopped.
Okay.
Well, if it's basic,
So I have to think about that for just a second too. I'm gonna say, because you're not all the way within the circle, but you are you actually reaching into it now, or you're
I'm going to
preparing
be putting
to
the
do-
mirror into it, basically, and trying to
Okay.
see how the angle will go. So
So,
trying to not
I'm-
touch it myself.
I'll probably rule that you're gonna have to take a little bit of damage for that, but not the full amount as though you were all the way in it. But
I'm willing to try it.
the thing that I want to point out, though, before we stop, is that the immovable rod is still sitting.
Oh, crap.
you didn't take it with him.
Nobody picked it up. It dropped on
I'm-
Archie's head, and then the dragon came out.
Well,
I'm still there.
Nero
So
right there.
Derp.
Okay, that was Alaric's turn. Granis.
Okay. So we can't see the dragon, and so I am actually going to move a bit to the side and pick up a rock, and I am ready to throw once he shows up.
Okay. All right. And let's see. Okay. It emerges again right here. And it is right in melee range with you. So your rock, you can make your readied rock attack, but it will be at disadvantage.
Of course. Oh, don't fall off the edge. Oh, well, that's good. Disadvantage was 17, so that's sorry, 26.
Yeah, okay. That still hits. Disadvantage was 17. All right.
Yeah, I rolled a 19 and a 17.
Okay. I mean, I guess that can happen. So I'm like, yeah.
It was
All right.
it was fortuitous. So
Uh-huh.
now roll the correct damage.
Yep.
So that is 10, 27 plus, I think it's 6. Hang on, let me just double check. Yes, plus 6 is, I said 27 plus 6. Sorry, 33 points.
Okay.
Wow.
And he has
Alright.
to roll a strength check to see if he's knocked prone.
Alright, that would be a 12, but once again, he's going to choose to succeed anyway. Not knocked prone. Alright.
Damn it. He's got narrative control.
Okay, and then... Okay. And then, once again, he's shifting
wait.
around a little... Oh,
A
yes,
mirror
you're
trick?
ready to action too? Yep, sure.
So I don't know what to roll in this case, or how, or if it's
I'm
even
gonna
going to
roll
work.
a 1d6, and you're gonna take that much radiant damage. It turns out to
All
be
right.
6. As you
course
reach
it
your
is.
hand in there. But this thing is also it's right here. So you're trying to basically aim some
Kinda-
of the...
Yeah,
light
just,
at
just shoot a ray at it, basically, from this massive pool of radiance I have in front of me. I don't know if it'll work. It's worth trying. If it doesn't work, I'm fine with that too.
Make a dexterity check.
Straight up dex.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or sleight of hand, I guess, if you have that.
I do.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll let
actually,
you use that if you want, if that's better.
Actually, the same. So I'm not actually trained in it, I guess.
Mm.
That is a 23.
Wow. Okay.
I rolled a 19.
Yeah. So I'm gonna rule that. I mean, it's not gonna be the full amount because it's a
Oh, no, of course
mirror
not.
reflecting a little bit. But I will roll 2d6. All right. Yeah, that's 5 radiant damage. As
Better than I could
the
have hoped.
intense magical light is reflected off.
This is really my entire story of siphoning off of Milkina's path.
Path of destruction.
But yeah, so he's shifting around like this, and he's going to inhale again.
Oh, crap.
And once again, this is actually going to be... Let's see. Can you get everybody? Yeah, I think you can. I think he's going to shift around here where he's going to get... Doke is currently in the ethereal plane, so he doesn't have to make a saving throw, but everybody else needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Against poison, right?
Yep.
Okay. Where's my...
Okay, that's better than the, what was it, double ones I rolled last time or something? that was totally embarrassing.
So,
23.
24.
17. 17.
So 18 is what you need. So Nira,
God.
fail.
Son of a bitch.
What did you get, Alaric, that time?
22.
22. Okay, I think.
But I also have protection from poison cast on myself.
Okay. All right. So is Nira the only one that got below 18? I didn't hear everybody's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, since Nira failed but is resistant to poison, are you immune to the poisoned condition or just resistant to poison damage?
Hold on, let me look. Second level. Protection from poison.
There's resistance to damage, poison damage.
Yeah.
Oh, it says I have advantage on saving throws against being poisoned.
Okay. Well,
And resistant to poison damage. So I could roll again?
Yep.
You briefly become a dwarf. There's a small
Well,
beard growing.
that was not better, so.
All right. So everyone is going to take 27 poison damage.
Okay.
And so
that
that is so that's already the halved amount because Nero would
Okay.
take the full amount, so she's only taking half. Everyone else takes half because they succeeded. So
Well,
27
and-
is the amount.
And both myself and Otterkey are also resistant to damage,
yes,
so we
you're
take
right.
half of that.
Right. Okay. Yes, that's true.
She said, how many points did you say?
Okay, Nira, you take 27 poison damage and you are poisoned, which means disadvantage on all attack rolls, ability checks, and so on. Saving throws too. I
Wait.
think.
Even I have resistance to poison damage. Wait.
Resistance to poison damage.
Oh,
So
okay,
you
okay.
only took half the damage. You are not immune to being poisoned.
Okay.
Yeah. So you are poisoned, and you took 27 poison damage. Granis, you're going to take 27 poison damage.
Mm-hmm.
And then Archie and Alaric, you're going to take half of the 27, which would be 13.
Okay.
And Doke as well.
No, he's in the
Doke's not
Imperial
there.
Oh, right. That's right. I forgot.
Doke's not here, man.
plane. Okay, that is so the poisoned condition, disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks, not saving throws. Okay, that is the dragon's turn, and after breathing that poisonous smoke, he's going to disappear under the ground again.
Come on!
If he's moving out of range, does that mean that Granis gets an opportunity attack?
I'll allow it.
All right.
It's complicated. Moving, to where, because he's moving to where she can't attack him. But
Combat
I'll
style.
allow it. So, but it's melee, not throwing your rock.
Okay, melee.
Combat status, it's complicated.
But it would only be one of my melee, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Instead of the two. Well, I rolled pretty good for that. And the plus for that is... Oh, yeah. So that would be 28.
28 hits.
Okay, and this one is... Oh, it's only 3... 8. 6. That's 10, 11, 17 points of damage.
Holy crap. Why don't we just get you to backhand him into oblivion? I think-
Sure.
Why have you been running away from him?
Because doing it by myself is too hard.
Yeah. And Shadow.
I
Yeah,
just
and
realized
that-
I haven't been doing one of the things that it can do. But
Yeah, and
that's
all my
okay.
attacks would have been at disadvantage if he was cloaked in darkness, right?
Yes.
Oh, that pesky Shadow. How do you ever put up with that nutty? There's a ninja for watchers.
It's not just a shadow. It's a shadow that is around a dragon. Instead
All
of
right.
a shadow that's bending to a dragon.
Mhm.
Deeper analysis is required.
Yeah. Yeah, I have definitely not been doing one of the things that it's able to do. So, okay.
That's okay. Just keep going with it.
Yeah. Okay, so that was the dragon's turn. Nira.
Alright, so I am going to hold my action because I'm going to call the lightning, and that will dismiss daylight.
Okay.
Or not daylight, dawn, excuse me.
Yeah.
But I just got used to using it.
And when it reappears, I am going to be using hold on, what is it? I'm trying to find my is it it's the channel divinity yeah, destructive wrath.
Okay.
So it will, and actually, I'm going to cast it at 4th level, so it will be 4d10 unless it makes the dex saving throw, and it will be half damage.
Okay.
So that's what I'm holding.
All right. Okay. So that is your turn. Let's see. Because this ability that it has to go under the ground really makes a lot of other things complicated. Like, you know, it starts to make less logical sense, some of the stuff that can happen. But okay, let's see. Yeah, so that's Nira's turn. Archie, you're up.
I am going to lay my hands on myself.
All right.
No, it's really been doing serious damage here. I didn't decide on how much though. The things are pretty dire. So yeah, I'm gonna cure myself for like 35 points. Add that in, and I think I'm gonna hold. Well, okay, so we're trying to leave. We're trying to get, oh, that's right. We need the rod so we can get to the tower. So we're heading back up the tower, right? No.
Depends on what you guys want to do.
Right. No, we're trying to get away so we can regroup.
I don't think that's gonna work.
I think we just got to take him out.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think we have a choice.
Definitely not a
can
large
do it.
instinct, that's for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I'll go ahead and walk towards where Doak, where I'm expecting him to reappear. And hold my attack to swing at it if
Okay.
it shows up again.
All right. Okay.
I feel like I should have moved and we should have spread out more so it can't get us all with the poison breath again.
It's got a pretty big poison breath.
Okay. And let's see. That was Archie's turn, and I think you're getting a tail attack, Nira. But that you can you've got your held call lightning, correct?
Yes. And it needs to make a saving throw. Dexterity needs to be at 15.
Well, that's a natural 1, but it chooses to succeed anyway.
Well, it still takes 20 points of damage.
All right. Yeah. So this tail whips out from under the ground, emerging from underneath. It's dripping with this murky water, lashing out at you, and in lightning quick as you were ready for it. And I'm going to be generous and say that you managed to strike it where it wasn't actually going to also hurt you. Because but I'll allow. Yeah, it doesn't hit where it's going to hurt you, but it is still attacking with the tail, and that's going to be a 29 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
And that's gonna be. That's just 13 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Lucky.
Yeah.
All right, it's Doak's turn, and he suddenly blinks back into distance, in existence in a slightly different spot.
Mm-hmm.
and he's still holding out the wand, and he's just like saying, "Okay, okay, I'm gonna try to paralyze it. If I see it again, I'll use the wand." And he rolls higher than a 20, so it disappears. All right.
It was supposed to be useful.
Blink is a weird spell, man. It's actually he's not using it to its utmost tactical abilities, really, right now. It's what's useful about it, basically ideally you would be using it in a situation where being in the ethereal plane is helpful rather than preventing you from doing the other things you want to do. Okay, so I'm kind of discovering that incidentally as the DM too, as opposed to the idea that I'm deliberately. Wait, no, pay no attention to the woman behind the curtain. Doak just doesn't know what he's doing. Okay, so that's Doak's turn.
It actually makes sense that Doak doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, Alaric, you're up.
Oh, great. So the sunlight's disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
There's nowhere to go. Carrying the rod is all you can do? Like, has that become your action essentially?
I would say it would be your action to pick it up and be. So, like, it was in a little sling before. So I think actually now without the sling, you would if you're carrying it, you need both hands to do that.
Okay. All right. Well, since I'm more useful carrying things and doing things, I'm going to again take the running jump and jump back in the middle.
It's a little bit tricky to do that here because this railing thing, this rim around the fountain, is like 5 feet off the ground. So you can't really back up and run 10 feet like that.
Okay. Well, I'll give it a try anyway.
You can make a standing. Try to just the standing leap. I'll make an athletics check.
Okay. 18.
18. I'll say it's not pretty, but you managed to sort of land on the side of it and clamber back up rather than landing in the water.
I've been called worse than you're not pretty, but you get the job done.
Yeah.
We'll pick up the MacGuffin.
Okay.
And I will take a bonus action. Actually, I got to check to see if that is a bonus action for me. I believe it is not. Crap. Okay. Then I don't want to stand too close. I'm going to take the bonus action to dash. And again, kind of jump back over the pool, but this time more to the right-hand side or further away from Granis.
Okay.
So I'm on the edge
like
of the pool
more this
there.
way?
Yeah.
Okay. You're making a running jump while carrying a 50-pound thing, so I'm going to say you're making this with disadvantage.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's still a 14.
Okay. I think you just barely made it with an 18 before, and now you spoosh into the water with this thing.
Okay.
It's not super deep. It's kind of up to your chest though, and you're carrying the stuff, and you splash in, and it smells pretty bad, but you don't detect any other immediate effect.
All right. Can I climb out with the rest of my movement?
Yeah, okay. Yep. You're wet and smell bad.
Yeah. Well, I can take care of that later.
Yeah, okay. I think, because the other thing, if I allow you guys the opportunity attacks when it sinks into the ground, then theoretically, you guys should be getting them too. Like, it should get them when you guys move out of its range.
If it's next to us.
Yeah. You get a bite attack as you're trying to move away, Alaric.
All right.
And it gets a natural 1. I think as it reaches out trying to chomp you, it ends up getting its teeth on the rod instead and chipping a tooth.
Little did it suspect that I wanted to jump in the water just to confuse it.
Yeah. Okay, that was Alaric's turn. Granis, you're up.
All right. Well, and I still can't see it, but I'm gonna just move a little so that I can find a rock,
Okay.
and I am ready.
Which way?
Yeah, that was good. Where you were
What?
going?
I kind of did
Sorry.
both. Like this way?
Yeah, that way. That's fine.
All right.
Not too far. Just enough to find a rock.
Okay. And are you readying the action?
Oh,
to
I
throw
am
the rock?
ready. I am
Okay.
ready. I'm holding that action so that as soon as I see him, I'm throwing the rock.
Okay. Let's see. What is he doing? Yeah. I think he doesn't like how you're trying to take this treasure away. Alright.
Great.
So yeah, he's gonna surface again in your way.
Damn it.
Granish, go ahead and throw your rock.
Yep. Oh, nice. That doesn't have a. I just want to check one thing. No, I'm just making sure if it had like if a crit included a 19 and it does not.
Nope.
So that's that's 28.
Okay, yeah, it still hits.
Okay, so that's the 4d10 plus 6. Okay, so that's gonna be 8, 9. Sorry, 8, 9, 11, 18 plus 6 will be 24.
Okay, you guys are noticing you've done a lot of damage to it. It's definitely looking weaker, considerably weaker than when you started.
Not from my point of view.
He has to do a strength check.
It's an 18.
And he succeeds,
Yep.
just barely.
All right, so first, time for another frightful presence. That's on everybody. Actually, I take it back. If you have, if a creature saving throw is successful or the effect ends for it, you're immune. So, and I guess you never mind. So, anyone who had it already was, yeah. All right, so never mind. No frightful presence. Just one bite and 2 claw attacks.
It's not looking intimidating all on its own.
So that's a 16.
That meets my armor class. I will use shield.
Okay. So it first attempts to bite and gets a mouthful of magical barrier. So then the 2 claw attacks. That's a 30.
It's
And then-
close, but
Yeah, and then a 24 to hit the two of them. So first one is 11 slashing damage. The second one is 14 slashing damage. Let's see. Yeah, and it's just going under the ground again, and I think it just says, "Well, this has been fun. We'll have
Can
to
I-
play again soon."
can I club it with the immovable rod?
Sure. It's an improvised weapon.
Yeah, I'm not proficient in that, I'm assuming.
Does that
but-
count as it leaving my range? Can I attack
no,
it or
no,
just 'cause
only
it
melee range.
disappears?
Only melee range.
Oh, I got a 16.
Okay, 16 unfortunately misses them. Okay, so it has disappeared beneath the ground again, and it said, "We'll have to play again soon."
Does that mean it's gone?
I don't know.
Does it?
I like this thing.
I normally don't make it leave. I'm normally the one running.
No. So Nira, it is your turn.
So I'm going to hold my action, which would just be to call the lightning again. But my bonus action is going to be to use healing word. So
Okay.
So if it comes back, I don't think it's coming back at this point, but yeah, if it comes back, I'll hit it with lightning and use healing word.
All right. Okay, so Archie. So you can. Your reaction can be the action or the bonus action. You can't.
Oh, not both.
And again, I can think of zero reason why
okay.
you wouldn't just cast healing word right now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I don't
doing
see
that.
any benefit to waiting on that one. But okay.
Yeah. I'm doing that.
Okay.
So that's only for 5 points, but still might be the difference between life and death.
All right. Yeah, Archie.
So I'm gonna wait here for Doak to return, and and just prepare to smite it if I see it.
Okay. All right. It is Doak's turn, and he pops back in and just says, "Oh, that's so aggravating." And he's still holding the wand just in case he sees it. And this time, he does not disappear for this round. Okay. He's still holding his action, though, to try to use the wand if he sees it. Alaric?
Okay, I'm using my body weight to heave the rod up, then slapping the button so it's kind of about head height and stuck there.
Okay.
I'm going to use my movement to climb up onto the rod.
All right.
Bonus action to use second wind.
Okay.
And, we get 9 hit points back.
All right.
I'm done.
Okay. And that makes it Granis' turn.
So I'm going to step a little closer to Doak and Archie, and I'm going to pick up another rock, and I am ready as soon as I see him.
Okay. Nothing happens. Nira?
Should we continue on?
So that's an hour.
Where's the reflector?
It's up in the tower, right?
No.
Well, there's the big
Oh.
one that's part of the beacon, but
Yeah.
then the other one that you had been talking about was last
story
you saw
statue.
it is when you pushed over the story statue pedestal.
Oh, okay. So that's over by the story statue. Yes. So that's what I tell them through Doak.
To the
So
story
continue from here.
statue.
So let's go.
Sure.
Looking around like what's going
How far
on.
away?
So, if I bring up the city map again, where did I put it? Oh, there it is. So, the
Yes, and I lose haste and drop into a torpor while they figure it out.
so the story statue is number 10 on this map.
Okay.
All right.
And we're at like.
So you are at number
6.
5, which is this
Or
fountain.
5, yeah.
Mhm.
All right. That's a lot of open ground if we go straight.
Well, I mean, it can't be any worse than here.
Yeah.
Does it matter?
I
I think we heard him, so he's probably gonna go recover. So if we can get our business done before he does that,
I wish we could have finished it.
yeah, that would have been nice.
I'm just glad to survive at this point.
But I say we go, and we try to activate the story statue again. And if he doesn't like that, he'll show up again, and hopefully we can get him to show up before he's healed.
Okay, let's do it. Let's go.
How long does your light last?
1 hour,
So let's
crap.
go.
and I cannot cast it again today. Oh wait, I can.
I memorized it, took inspiration last night, so I can cast it as well for once.
So I would say you're about 15 minutes in to that hour.
Okay.
And I would know how long it would take us to get to the story statue, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's not that
I mean,
far.
it's like half a mile.
All right, let's go.
So it depends on how are you hurrying?
I think at this point we have to.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Grannis, if you can carry this thing, it's a little bit more your size than mine. And I hand Grannis the rod.
Yeah, how big is this rod, by the way?
Yeah, so it's about 5 feet. So for you, if you put one end on the ground, it would be, about your knee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
it's
can
taller
carry
than I
that, no
am.
problem.
Yeah. So it's kind of this thing where like hefting it, and you're just like,
Yep. Got it. Sling it over my shoulder like a baseball bat.
Uh-huh.
Oh, this thing?
Yeah.
Aw. How heavy is it?
It's about 50 pounds, but it's easy for you.
Yeah. No, I'm just wondering about throwing it.
I would say, just for a weight perspective, we could treat it pretty much like when you're throwing the rocks.
Cool. All right, let's do this.
Okay. So, yeah, you're making your way.
I still have. Never mind. Go ahead.
So
I'm ready to throw it. Is what I
Okay.
wanted to say.
All right. So I assume that you're allowing Call Lightning to lapse, Nira? Okay. So you
Yep.
guys are making your way. Are you staying in a close little pack, or what are you doing?
No, I think we should spread out a little bit.
Run like hell at this point.
Well, describe when you say spread out a little bit. Got to describe that to me.
Like, are we fanning out and covering ground separately that way, or?
From the
Because
map,
I don't know the distance of his cone thing, where that he can spray his poison breath. So that's what I'm thinking of when I'm saying we should spread out. I don't know. I probably have at least 10 feet distance between each of us, at least, I think. I don't know. How wide is the street? Like, is
Well,
the street open?
you're passing through these sort of big, wide open areas. That's just like, imagine a road that's 80 feet across and leads half a mile.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
the most direct way.
I'm gonna trail kind of towards the back, and I will keep 20 feet between me and whoever is in front of me.
Okay.
Then-
So I will say, you know that the range of its breath was considerably more than 20 feet.
Right, but my thing is that if it can't hit all of us at one go.
Okay, so you're what, stretched all out in a line, 20 feet?
No, it'd be staggered or.
Yeah, it would be like staggered in some way. I don't know.
I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of us, including Doke. I think if we are fanned out so that we're all about 20 feet distance from each other, and yes, it can still get a group of us at that point, but that's big enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then stacks 20 feet behind as well.
Let's just move fast.
Okay.
I think we're probably beleaguering
I
the
think
point,
you guys
but-
are. I think you guys are hurrying along this big open road, and you're kind of half-assing this idea that you're fanned out.
I'm
good
staying
to
as
me.
far away
Sounds
as I
about right.
can.
Okay. Well, I mean, as far away as you can could be
The other side of the
hundreds
road.
of yards. Yeah. I mean, like so. It's like.
I think we keep like 50, 60 feet between each other in like a pentagon pattern. So no
Okay.
two of us are no more than two of us are in any one line.
So Grannis can get there first and put up the rod because she knows where it goes anyway.
Yeah, she's leading anyway because we don't know the direct the area.
All right.
So, you guys are hurrying through, and because you're not giving me a lot to work with in terms of the orientation, I'm just going to pick that when this poison breath emerges again, it's going to get Otterkey and Nira.
I'm so dead.
You're still both resistant though.
That
lasts
lasts
for
an
an
hour.
hour.
Is that right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, lucky I picked the right people then. So that's another Constitution saving throw from the two of you.
Also note I'm down to 31 hit points. And Constitution.
20 for Archie.
Hold on.
20 is a success.
Constitution plus 19.
19 is also a success. So you're going to take 1/4 of what I'm rolling right now, which is a 70. So half of 70 is 35. So it would be 17.
That's over half my hit points. Okay.
Yeah. So this cloud of poisonous gas just emerges, encompasses the two of you, leaving you gasping for breath, struggling, to breathe, and then you just hear, it disappears again.
Happened later.
It is later.
How far along did we get?
I'd say you're about 2/3 there.
Okay.
Well, I would do this. LV1, heal yourself. Keep going.
I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay.
It doesn't do too much, but it's something anyway.
Kratos is still booking and ready to throw it as soon as she sees him.
Okay. You're going to throw the rod at him if you see him?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. No. I'm going to pick up a rock and I'm going to be ready to throw the rock with the other hand. She thought she might throw it, but then she thought, that's not a good idea.
Was it my facial expression that helped convey that?
She's just anxious. She's ready to go. So she's got rod in one hand, rock in another.
Just realized on this screen, Chooch's little picture is smaller than everyone else. There we go. Okay, so you guys now have made it up to that location and this enormous statue that you had only previously seen from a distance. Obviously, Granis has seen it before.
Mm-hmm.
What you guys are seeing is it's kind of breathtaking. Each of these stone giants in the statue is a good 25 feet tall, and there are 15 of them arrayed in a line in various poses. And so it's this big, long, stretching statue that's all together. And all of the stone giants are in various poses. Some that look like they're contemplating something, some that look like they're meditating, some that look like they're afraid, some that look like they're stoic and steadfast, and one is holding aloft a jagged piece of purple crystal that is reflective in the light coming from the beacon tower and is clearly intended to represent a fisher, and it's holding it aloft, looking at it in kind of a horrified fascination. And nearby, in front of it, you see a toppled stone column.
Is the reflector still there?
It's not!
No!
Of course it's not. Just put the stone rod up where it should be, and then we'll figure it out.
Is there a way I can prevent the dragon from pressing the button, though?
No.
So are you sure you want me to do that?
No.
I'm going to start climbing the steps to get some height.
Okay. What you're climbing the statues to do what?
Get some height.
Okay, yeah.
Because on the ground, I'm extraordinarily vulnerable right there. So
Yeah,
it's the only
yeah.
thing to do.
Okay, so all
And-
right, the as you guys are, hanging out there, what are you doing?
From the higher height, can I see what might be the reflector anywhere around us?
Make a perception check.
What would...
That's a D10. That's not going to help me. 17.
Okay, here's my question. What are we trying to do with the reflector? Are we trying to open the door to the vault?
Or possibly use it as a weapon, just as I was able to use my mirror.
Well, the daylight spell she cast on the beacon was not like the dawn spell. It's not harmful, but it is what dispels the magical darkness
Right.
Right.
around the dragon.
That's something.
So my thing is, can I just cast daylight on on the freaking
reflector.
door to open it?
I would probably know if that would work, right?
Yeah, she
Yeah,
said everything has to be at the right.
Right, so, Grannis, you don't know exactly how it worked or what specifically it would be looking for, but what you know is that as designed, the door is only revealed when the beacon is lit properly and it reflects properly off the reflector and casts the right shadow against the wall.
Right. So I need to get the correct shadow, but so if she cast daylight directly coming from where the beacon was, that might be too bright.
Or it would
Or
might
not
be
the beacon,
different
the-
at least. Yeah.
Yeah. It might possibly be different. So I'm not sure that the shadow would be the right shadow that you need to open the vault.
Because I can move the light. If I cast it on an object, I can move that object, and the light moves with it.
Mhm.
So
So, you with
Trying
your
to figure out
perception
some-
score
Cast it on the
earlier,
rod
Alaric,
and just
the 17, you're looking around, you know, the light coming from the beacon is a little hard to look at directly, but as it emerges and reflects all over all of these other mirrors and devices on the ceiling, filling the kind of this enormous cavern, you know, with bright light, and you're looking around, and for one, this is in some ways kind of your first really good look at the city in full light, and you know, from up a little height, and I think there's a little bit of just a sense of like, this is amazing, just the architecture and the stonework and everything, but you know, it's definitely you're not able to detect, and you know, you don't see a reflector on the floor.
Do I have any idea, and I don't know if they talked about it later or if I see it here, about where the light is meant to go? Where the reflector is meant to reflect to?
Well, you can see where the stone column was before Grannis pushed it over.
Okay.
And the pieces of the stone column are there as far as you can tell. You haven't checked it carefully.
Okay. Although I don't have much hope, I will pull out my small mirror and see if I can actually bend the beam in the same direction it would have gone. May not be enough, but it might be.
Okay. Well, so right now you're climbed up on top of the statue.
Mm-hmm. Does the beam not cross across this way, or is it not close enough?
Where are you trying to make the light go?
I basically, if I know where the statue or where the pillar was. I don't know which
Yeah, but
direction.
that was.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically, the idea is that the statues are between the beacon and the far wall, and it's designed to make them cast a shadow on the far wall.
Right.
How big is his mirror?
It's
Is
really
it-
small. It's
Okay.
4 or 5 inches across, probably.
So it's not even close to the same size as the
No. Like I said, I didn't have much hope, but can I catch the light at all in the mirror? Like, does it cross anywhere where I'm nearby?
Well, I mean, it's not like a laser beam, but you know, if you imagine like a bright, you know, like the sun, say, coming from one direction, right? You could use a mirror to sort of reflect the sunlight in various directions, right?
Okay.
But you also can't really, I mean, it's already shining in the direction that it would be coming from. So this device that your understanding looking at it is designed to focus the light in a specific way, not reflect it in a different direction.
Oh, okay. My mistake.
I guess I've been
thought-
calling it a reflector, so I
Yeah.
can see how that confuses the issue.
Okay. Oh, well. Young
But, yeah.
Zokara, do you know any illusionary magic? Can you make an illusion of the right shadow?
He says, no, I mean, I have my I have my deck of illusions, but that just, it's like it creates a random illusory creature. And I can't control what it will be. I mean, I can, like I can mold earth into different shapes. But I think that would just risk making the statue a different shape than it already was.
Yeah.
But maybe you can make a new concentrator.
Well, I mean,
Maybe don't look
it
at
would
those
still
this
just be
way.
stone.
Yeah.
I would like to have my Wand of Wonder at the ready, just in
Okay.
case this dragon pops up.
All
Oh
right.
yeah, I'm still got that action ready to throw my stone.
Yeah, I could think of is
Um,
to cast daylight on the rod, and we can position the rod and try to get the right shadow.
I think the light might be too bright, though.
And it might be too crude to make the right shadow. We don't
Yeah,
even know
we
what
can't
shadow
tone
is.
it down or anything like that, so...
Can Granis describe what the shadow is supposed to look like in shape? In any detail? Or is there a way to see that?
It's Granis, I think you would find it a little difficult to describe because it's even for you who are accustomed to this city. This big project that the entire city turned out to work on for the last couple of weeks before going in the vault was really incredible and breathtaking, even for what you're used to. It created these 15 stone giant statues, and the shadow that casts that they cast, like, you are familiar with the particular stone giant work of art where a statue looks like one thing, but then the shadow it creates on an irregular surface when the light's just in the right place can reveal a completely different aspect of whatever it is. And this creates an enormous, thousands of feet wide mural almost on this far wall that essentially tells the story of the, in pictorial form of the stone giants seeing the fissures out in the world, listening to the Dreamwalker, building the vault, and then sealing themselves inside.
Yeah. So I would basically explain that and then say, I think we need to play the dragon and tell him that we'll play for the reflector. Engage him. He wants to play, right?
I don't think he understands what play means.
Well, obviously not, but
Well, if we open up this vault, he could potentially have a lot more people to play with.
it's true. I don't mind sacrificing her, the Dreamwalker.
That doesn't seem like it would help us at all. If all of them are dead.
I don't think that all of them would be dead. They're stone.
Well, it's hard to walk away from that. Especially when you're broken in little bits and pieces.
Maybe not me. I don't mind. Don't mind her getting messed up. Maybe that'll make them come back. I don't know.
I'm thinking it's about 45 minutes into your hour now,
Crap.
as you've been hanging out at the statue, kind of thinking about it.
Does anybody have anything they could make that would create something like the concentrate or
No, I have nothing. I think she's right. I think we're gonna have to play him for it.
I don't think play is the word we need to use.
Well,
That's the word he would use.
uses.
Sure, but we haven't even figured out what kind of game he's playing. Aside from trying to kill us all. Now, granted, we did start the game this time that way. Nira.
Why don't you call him? Ask him.
Hey, dragon, where you at?
Where my dragons at?
Yeah, I'm gonna slap
the
on
name?
You guys,
on the statues.
you feel one of those tremors again that just under the ground, kind of passing by around where you are.
Tell him we'll play.
Take cover, Drokara, just in case.
Dragon, we want to play a game.
Oh, before we do that, you want to give me that poison stuff?
Do we have any spell slots left? Okay.
Never mind then. Don't worry.
And,
I'm just thinking you guys called him over and then said, "Hey, wait, just a second."
It's called the waiting game. This is something new for you. The only way to
I like
win
that
is to
game, I
wait.
don't think.
Yeah.
Dragon, what's your favorite game?
Oh God.
As you guys are standing there, about 20 feet away from the statue, the ground starts to, and a crack, like a little mini crevasse, opens up in it, and you can see just darkness beneath. Not magical darkness, but just standard variety. But from within there, you hear, "I'm on the lookout for new games. Propose one, we'll play."
What is it that the giants like to play with throwing the stones?
Fetch? Catch?
Well, it's more of a straightforward precision throwing at distance.
Pinochle.
Shit. Christiana, can I do trying to think, like a history check for Elvish games?
Yeah, sure. I mean, what kinds of games are you envisioning? Like what, card games? Word
No,
games?
Sit down for Scrabble. Damn, how did you use 5 Q's in that word? Stupid dragon.
because he seems pretty smart. So, any sort of, because we're kind of struggling physically, so I'm thinking maybe a game of wit of some kind.
Okay.
Something more less physical and more mentally challenging.
What, like riddles?
I'm so bad at this. This is a Mugen thing.
Alvin.
Anybody else have any
I would
ideas?
imagine that riddle games is definitely something that the High Elves would be into.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm rolling. That is a what was that? It's a history.
You know
so
what? I'm not
it's-
even going to make you need to roll to say that riddle games are a thing. But I guess the question would be, is that what you want to propose? If that's what you have in mind,
I'm not going to be able to do this, though. I don't
mean,
think
if you
this well
wanna-
on my
if
feet.
you want to be thinking about a game of like, is there a game like chess or something? If that's kind of what you have in mind, then you can do that. But I proposed riddles just because I think they're interesting. But I mean, because the thing is too, we have to remember sometimes with things like riddle games in D&D, it becomes a question of like, well, who's really solving the riddle? Is it the character or the player?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, the problem here is that I don't think this well on my feet, so I'm struggling right now.
No worries. So, I mean, I would say just, you know of many different kinds of games from the High Elves that you could potentially suggest, although, like, some of them obviously would need, like, equipment. But if you're proposing sort of a game of wits, like, I mean, that would be something maybe like chess or something like riddles or something like that.
Well, I think we all learned from the very beginning of our adventure that I am not good at chess. That did not work out well. Does anybody have any ideas? Anybody? Like, I don't.
I could play my rock throwing game with him. That's what I've got. I throw rocks.
But he's probably seen the giants do that.
So would you say
So-
that just we could throw rocks?
I could throw rocks. That's not how she sounds. Throw rocks. That's how she sounds.
Throwing rocks. Is that what you do out in the plateau?
Yeah.
What are the stakes of this game?
Do you have the concentrator, the reflector?
The little shiny thing that you left on the ground, I took it to my horde.
I'll pay you for that.
And what do I get if I win?
My wand.
It's
You
a
know that I
deal.
can't escape you then.
It's a deal. And I think we'll leave it there for today.
She's so much better at this than me. Okay.
I like that a lot, actually.
That's so much fun. There's just one problem.
Yeah?
I'm busy next week.
Oh. Well, let's see. Trying to think. I mean, we could play a little longer tonight, I suppose, if you guys are really up for it.
I don't mind you playing me next week.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, arg!
It is
And
starting to
then
get pretty late. I mean, it's almost
Yeah.
11 here on the East Coast,
Yeah,
U.S., and that's an hour later for Mark already, right?
It's close to midnight, yeah.
Yeah.
I could play for a little while longer if we felt it wasn't going to go very much longer. I have no idea what this is going
I
to
Well,
have a feeling that we could go for longer, so.
Yeah, I think this is at least another hour we're looking at.
It's a great cliffhanger, though.
Yeah, that's kind of why that was my instinct. We're running a little late, and it's a good cliffhanger. But
It is the kind of thing where Mugen would have convinced him to play a game of Fizbin or something.
yeah,
Well, dragons love the shell game.
that's the thing about dragons is they can't resist a shell game.
I thought that was good. Walt.
Okay, so I think that was some fun stuff. I wasn't actually necessarily expecting you guys to just rush on in and pick a fight, but hey, that's D&D, right? That's how it works.
That's D&D for
You are
you.
cleric.
Well, I believe that Granis understands the cleric now.
Nira didn't want to sleep another night in a box with a bunch of sweaty people.
Again, that might not be an option soon.
Okay. Well, I will be sure to hit you with guidance before you throw your rock.
There's one way for Granis not to be alone. This is not the way I want it to go.
Hmm.
All right, so thank you for playing. Thank you for joining us, Nutty, and
not betraying us.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So far,
So I will, I think, plan to be back next week, and if you are not able to join us, then unfortunately we'll continue sadly without you. But who knows? We'll figure something out maybe, and we'll be back next week. So in the meantime, thank you everybody. It was. Yeah, I think we'll just do that next week. There was one more thing that I was imagining that I might do earlier in the session, but I forgot. So we'll deal with that next week.
at the beginning of the game, by the way, I do want to say that Granis is going to make sure that Archie gets the rod.
Okay. Don't
She
you
thinks
want to
it's okay.
accidentally leave it somewhere again?
Well, I don't want it. I don't want it to be accidentally left, and I don't want it impeding any of my throws, and I don't want, if I lose, for them to lose the rod as well.
Mhm.
That was not part of the bargain.
Yes. Nice.
All right. Thank you everybody for watching live. Those of you in the chat, it's awesome, and we'll be back for more adventure on so
So many levels!
levels.